history of Namibia's struggle for sovereignty. The declaration of the Republic is a multi-step process involving different groups at different stages of the timeline. While SWAPO is the most famous group associated with the Republic, other alliances, and the United Nations itself, played critical roles in legally establishing the name and the state. 1. The naming. Mbarumba Karina, 1960s. The name Namibia was first proposed in the early 1960s by Mbarumba Karina, a co-founder of both SWANU and SWAPO. He originally suggested the name Republic of Namib to the United Nations to replace Southwest Africa, arguing that the name should be derived from the Namib Desert to unify the country's diverse ethnic groups. 2. The UN Declaration, the Council for Namibia, 1968. Legally, the Republic of Namibia was first declared at the international level by the United Nations General Assembly. In June 1968, the UN passed Resolution 2372-22, which officially changed the name of the territory from Southwest Africa to Namibia. This resolution was a declaration of the territory's new identity, even though South Africa still maintained de facto, physical control. 3. The National Convention, 1971 to 1975. Before SWAPO was granted sole and authentic status, there was a broad alliance called the National Convention, NC. This group was formed in 1971 as a united front of liberation forces. It included SWAPO, SWANU, Southwest African National Union, and NUDO, National Unity Democratic Organization. Their goal was to declare a unified opposition to South African rule. However, this group eventually fractured when the UN decided to recognize SWAPO individually in 1973. 4. The Final Constitutional Declaration, 1990. The actual, functional declaration of the Republic of Namibia as a sovereign state happened through the Constituent Assembly. Following the 1989 elections, a multi-party body called the Constituent Assembly was formed. Although SWAPO held the majority, 41 of 72 seats, the constitution was a collaborative effort. On February 9, 1990, the Assembly officially adopted the Constitution, and on March 21, 1990, the Republic of Namibia was formally declared independent, with Sam Nujoma, leader of SWAPO, as the first president. Summary of key groups. Group/entity. Role in the declaration. Mbarumba Karina proposed the name Republic of Namibia, in the early 60s. UN General Assembly formally renamed the territory Namibia in 1968. National Convention attempted a united front declaration in the early 70s. SWAPO led the armed struggle and became the primary governing body at independence. Constituent Assembly drafted and declared the final sovereign constitution in 1990. Would you like to see the specific details of the 1990 Declaration of Independence, or the legal wording of the 1968 UN resolution?
Yeah, my fellow BIAFRANs, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depends on your own time and location. This my message is going to go to you this wonderful afternoon from my location. This is BIAFRA TV. I say welcome you this wonderful evening, wonderful morning, afternoon, depends on your own time. I would like you to join me by sharing the message and also to like the message and make the message to go viral. It is very, very imperative at this time that we are into. As you join us, please endeavor to hit the like button so others will know that we are live here and we are direct. So please join me to do so by you hitting your like button. Please do not just watch, but watch and like, and also share the program. Is the only way you are making other peoples to come here, join us on this program. To no reason why we must propagate the message of Biafra as our own country at this time that we are into. And why we have to draw our lesson from what happened to the country of Namibia, and finally how they got to the roads of their having their peaceful country that all of us Many of us in our various areas has left Nigeria to travel to Namibia to go in there and also make our money. That is why I am here to let you know that we need to join hands together to build our own country. That country called Namibia, if any of us today is in there, you may understand how they are functioning, that they are a better country than Nigeria. And we want to build a better country that are better than Namibia country, that the world has turned against us and they never want us to build our own country. But we are taking it with option of by force that we must build our own country in this 21st century era. Building our own country must come with a lot of sacrifice. It must comes to a lot of ignorance on certain things that is going to make us to move very fast. So I am asking you to join me, like and share the program, so every other Biafra or those who are happy to have Biafra as their own country as the only solution will join us this wonderful time that we are live here and we are direct. So as you join, endeavor to subscribe. When you subscribe, endeavor to like and turn your notification on so you know when we are live. We don't have a time that map out for us to be a live on program, but we are here doing what we can do. Anytime the time comes out in a day, we must come, even if it is 1 hour, to be with you. We have to do that. Why are we doing what we are doing? I am doing what I am doing because I have understand that the only option, the only remedy I have, or the only solution on what is happening today is only USB re-declared is the only option, because of things that happened in the past in other countries. How the only option they have was having their own country and fight for it. And I want us to draw our lesson fully after today. I am here to learn my own lesson, which is I want you to also learn a lesson from what happened to Namibia. That is why the topic is Namibia 5 group after the declaration that leads to UN recognition is a big lesson to all Biafrans. Today's program, we want to draw our lesson after the 5 group of different group of people from Namibia from the same country. How all these groups exist and what happens. And why the lesson is very important is that for you to know that it's only the one, that particular one, that makes the declaration of Namibia in 1960 was the one that the world or UN recognized. And you may ask the question, why did the others never, why did the UN or any other country never recognize those one? Or the -1, why the UN did not recognize 4? And they decided to recognize only the SWAPO as the right government of the people of Namibia in their own time. I also want to tell you that not only in Namibia history has happened like that. Many other countries in the world that have walked in the way of their declaration that any time the UN or the the world powers decided to recognize anyone, they only recognize the one that make the peaceful declaration. That first one that opens mouth and declare this is the name of the country is the one that the world power always recognized. So I only want you to understand, if you are in IPOB, in your MASOB, a fake fallback bridge, a BGC, and those who call themselves water, no matter anywhere you belong and think you are fighting for Biafra, after a peaceful declaration, the world are only moving straight to recognize the first group or the first organization that come out against all odds and make a peaceful declaration. That is the one that the world always at all time listen to. That is the one that the world at all time always look out for. And the ones, if they are maintaining the criteria of a country in waiting with a full government structure, that is the one the world always adopted or the world always recognized. Today, to conclude the issue of the Namibia history, I've been playing for over some days right now. Why I want to conclude it today by using the headline, Namibia 5 Group After Declaration that leads to the UN recognition is a big lesson to all Biafrans. That is the topic we are treating today. Why is it a big lesson to all Biafrans is the question that we must answer. That is why I'm here to answer you, and also for you to know that without this history of Namibia and the achievement, that you are not ready to have Biafra as a country. That is why it's more imperative at this time that you pay attention and that we all learn our lesson from this history, and also for us to reason that the way we reason, the way we thinking, and the way we see things is not the same way that the UN you are looking up to, that the EU and AU and all this international community, their way of seeing a new country is quite different from the way you reason. The 4 group that has merged after the Namibia declaration of Namibia independence, that 4 group, because of that UN never recognized them and asked them to go back to the original declaration by the group called, or by the organization called SWAPO, that comes out against all odds and make a fully declaration of Namibia as a country. That is the one that UN are the world powers and all the international community recognized, not any other one. That's what I want you to know, that seeing all these groups that are today fighting against the United States of Biafra declaration, that you are doing what the other 4 organizations that emerged before or after the declaration, they never gain any ground or get any international assist, or UN never called them and recognized them, and they leave the first SWAPO organization that transitioned the movement of the protest agitation of the Namibia of 45 years into a country. And after that transition into a country, they start maintaining the structure of a country in waiting for recognition. These are the areas I want to understand. It is about the international laws, the way they see things and the way they view things, that it is very quite different from the way you as a person are seeing these things in this 21st century. That is why I am here to give you, or to give myself, the lesson why I must stand on the mandate of the declaration of the United States of Biafra that happens on November the 29th, 2024. This is very, very important at this stage that we are into. It is our own mission that we must accomplish by ourselves. There is no individual that will do it for us. That is why it is very, very important that we draw our lesson from what's happened to a country called Namibia. That after their declaration, there is many groups and many names that come out, that comes out to attack the declaration of Namibia. That is why it is very, very imperative at this time that we are into, that the decision of the United Nations to recognize the SWAPO organization that made the declaration of Namibia in 1960. Remember that all these groups was never surfaced in the, starting from the 1915 of the protest and agitation of Namibia, that this four group was be able to emerge after the declaration of Namibia, or the independency announcement of that Namibia has become a Republic of Namibia, no longer in the hand of an organization called SWAPO, Southwest Africa People's Organization. There is a coincidence that happened between this and Nigeria today. Nigeria, after our declaration, still using the word IPOB. The same thing that South Africa continuously using the first name organization of the people of Namibia to address them at all time before the UN organized them and asked South Africa to exit the territory of Namibia, that they should not continue to occupy a foreign territory. What happened? When they find out that Namibia has got recognition from the office of the UN, South Africa packed their load and leave this Namibia territory. It is also the same thing that we as the people of Biafra today are passing through. Why did I bring that coincidence there? Is this, that because the so-called Nigerian government, till after our declaration, refused to pronounce United States of Biafra. Rather, they continue pronouncing IPOB organization, like what Africa did after the 1960 of the declaration of Namibia as a country. I hope you are paying attention, because all these things happened because South Africa don't want to give Namibia that popularity of Republic of Namibia. They want it to be continuously seen when they continuously using the Southwest People's Organization as an internal affair of South Africa, not external. So the same method that Nigeria government is using today by using the word IPOB organization as an internal matter. So for the declaration of the United States of Biafra has give a room of the external matter, no longer an internal matter. That is why they continue using IPOB to address the movement of the people of Biafra. Have you seen Nigerian government mention United States of Biafra? No. The same way South Africa refuses in 1960 of the Declaration of Namibia to mention Republic of Namibia. Even though up to today that the map of the United States of Biafra has arrived in the map of the world and also in the map of Africa today. As I'm talking to you right now, just go to Google, type United States of Biafran map. Where can I, just ask this question, where can I find United States of Biafran map? And you will find it and you come here to confirm. Only that thing alone could give you a lesson for you to know that what happened in the Republic of Namibia on their movement of their declaration of becoming a full nation is also what is happening right now in the movement of the United States of Biafra we are declared November the 29th, 2024. I told you, every country there is a day they make their declaration. There is a day they start building a country. They did not just land from heaven. There was a movement that transitioned into them becoming a country. Like now, we, the people of USB, people of the United States of Biafra in general, has transitioned and moved to have our own date of our real declaration. And why our own case might not last like Namibian people is because we have become a country in 1967 to 1970. We have exist. We only resurrect this country that was lost or that was dead, like when Christ resurrected Samson from the, no, not Samson, resurrected Lazarus from the dead. So when you resurrected your country, that is what they call transition. You have transitioned into a country in waiting, and you must transition into a country in waiting before the international global community will talk about you. Remember that after Namibia, the Republic of Namibia has made their declaration in 1960, despite over long years of struggle, agitation, protest in the hands of South Africa, because from 1915 to 1960 is maximum 45 years that Namibia people agitate and struggle for their movement. What happens there is that after that, 1960, Namibia make their declaration. After Namibia declaration in 1960, Namibia continuously using the name Republic of Namibia and answering the Republic of Namibia in all their documents in every offices. Now it took Namibia 8 years before UN can be able to talk about Namibia. In the first one, the Namibia was mentioned by the UN was after 8 years, which is 1960. They was be able to mention it under that the Republic of Namibia was declared by SWAPO, Southwest Africa People's Organization. What happened? After that, UN remained silent until 1978. That UN finally recognized them. So check between 1968 to 1978. How many years before UN recognizes them? And also, their map did not quickly resurrect into the map of the world or Africa like USB were declared. It took them another 10 years before their map was be able to see in the map of the world, and also before their map was able to see in the African map curriculum. These are what Namibia passes through. And if you look at our movements right now, you will see a better way of our own shining. After 15 months of the USB we are declared, you can find, as I'm talking to you right now, the map of the United States of Biafra in the global world map. And in that area, you see that map, what you will see there is United States of Biafra. You will see the arrow pointing to you, United States of Biafra. That is what you will see. If you never check, take a 1 minute, go to Google and type, where can I find United States of Biafran map? Just type. You will come back here and give a testimony. I want you to know the work that our DPM and all the cabinet members, including you, writing on the comment that you are a citizen of United States of Biafra. That's why I told that in my platform, the code remains hashtag I am a citizen of United States of what? Biafra. These are the areas that are very, very imperative at this stage that we are into, that all of us pay attention. And I also want to know that it's happening for real life. It's happening in a real life, that United States of Biafra has gotten into map. What is it triggering into your mind? Are you still watching those that are blowing up without nothing? Are you shouting about those who all they do is to have a handshake? But that is what they are doing, is to help USB to sell. So, and those who send the message cannot find out that what Nigerian who send Ogenkere could not reason that you are helping us to propagate Biafran cause under USB we are declared. So I applaud you to continue to do more. Continue to do more. So my people, I am going to go to the comment section to see our people and to greet them, and we move into the real documents we have here to discuss today. So let us see those that are the first here today. The first person here is Equem Justice, is the first person. The second, Equem, I greet you, thank you so much. Ahmad Chigozie, I see you. Mommy Simon Eba, good afternoon from here. One other divine precious, I see good evening from here. Official AJ, good evening from here. You can see what I'm saying. Peter AJ said, hatch, I am a citizen of United States of Biafra. It is very important. And it's also further says a lot of words. So, but I want you to know that the time is running very fast. Can you see the map of the United States of Biafra in the Google? Can you find it by yourself? Can you go in there and find it so you may understand that I am not gossiping, that I am giving you the real gist? We are going to listen to, in the history of Namibia after the declaration, among the 5 groups, why did the UN only give international recognition to the SWAPO? That is the headline of what we are going to hear today. So please listen very carefully. I want to help me to confirm if the voice is coming out from the audio voice, please. It is very imperative.
The United Nations decision to recognize the Southwest Africa Peoples Organization, SWAPO, as the sole and authentic representative in 1973 was a pivotal moment in decolonization history.
Sound and clear?
This status gave SWAPO immense diplomatic leverage over other internal groups, often referred to as the pro-South African or moderate factions. Here's why the UN bypassed other groups to favor SWAPO. 1. The armed struggle and effective resistance. While other groups sought change through petitions or internal politics, SWAPO launched an armed liberation struggle in 1966 via its military wing, PLAN, People's Liberation Army of Namibia. The UN General Assembly increasingly viewed armed resistance against colonial regimes as legitimate under international law. By actively fighting the South African Defence Force, SADF, SWAPO demonstrated a level of commitment and effective presence that the other four groups could not match. 2. Rejection of the internal settlement. South Africa attempted to create an internal government, such as the Turnhale Constitutional Conference, involving hand-picked ethnic leaders. The UN saw these groups as puppets of the apartheid regime designed to delay true independence and preserve South African influence. By recognizing only SWAPO, the UN effectively invalidated any internal settlement that didn't include the main liberation movement. 3. Broad national versus ethnic appeal. Many of the other groups in Namibia at the time were organized along strictly ethnic lines, representing only the Herero, Damara, or white settlers. SWAPO, despite having a strong base among the Ovambo people, successfully branded itself as a trans-ethnic national movement dedicated to a unified Namibia. The UN preferred supporting a single, unifying force rather than a fragmented group of ethnically based parties, which they feared would lead to civil war. 4. Cold War geopolitics and the OAU. The Organization of African Unity, OAU, played a massive role. The OAU's Liberation Committee backed SWAPO exclusively, and the UN General Assembly, then dominated by newly independent Third World states, followed the OAU's lead. Supporting one group allowed the international community to streamline funding, training, and diplomatic pressure against South Africa. Comparison of recognition status. Feature: SWAPO. Internal groups. The Multi-Party Conference, UN status. Sole and authentic representative. Not recognized, viewed as puppets. Strategy: armed struggle plus diplomacy. Constitutional negotiation with South Africa. Primary goal: immediate, total independence. Gradual transition, power sharing. External support: UN, OAU, Soviet bloc. South Africa. This exclusive recognition remained in place until the transition to independence began in 1989. At that point, the UN shifted its role to that of an impartial supervisor under Resolution 435, ensuring that all parties, including the internal groups, could compete in free and fair elections. Would you like to explore the specific legal arguments South Africa used to challenge this UN recognition at the International Court of Justice?
Listen again before we go into our analysis. Just listen again.
The United Nations' decision to recognize the Southwest Africa People's Organization, SWAPO, as the sole and authentic representative of the Namibian people in 1973 was a pivotal moment in decolonization history. This status gave SWAPO immense diplomatic leverage over other internal groups, often referred to as the pro-South African or moderate factions. Here's why the UN bypassed other groups to favor SWAPO. 1. The armed struggle and effective resistance. While other groups sought change through petitions or internal politics, SWAPO launched an armed liberation struggle in 1966 via its military wing, PLAN, People's Liberation Army of Namibia. The UN General Assembly increasingly viewed armed resistance against colonial regimes as legitimate under international law. By actively fighting the South African Defence Force, SADF, SWAPO demonstrated a level of commitment and effective presence that the other four groups could not match. 2. Rejection of the internal settlement. South Africa attempted to create an internal government, such as the Turnhale Constitutional Conference, involving hand-picked ethnic leaders. The UN saw these groups as puppets of the apartheid regime designed to delay true independence and preserve South African influence. By recognizing only SWAPO, the UN effectively invalidated any internal settlement that didn't include the main liberation movement. 3. Broad national versus ethnic appeal. Many of the other groups in Namibia at the time were organized along strictly ethnic lines, representing only the Herero, Damara, or white settlers. SWAPO, despite having a strong base among the Ovambo people, successfully branded itself as a trans-ethnic national movement dedicated to a unified Namibia. The UN preferred supporting a single, unifying force rather than a fragmented group of ethnically based parties, which they feared would lead to civil war. 4. Cold War geopolitics and the OAU. The Organization of African Unity, OAU, played a massive role. The OAU's Liberation Committee backed SWAPO exclusively, and the UN General Assembly, then dominated by newly independent Third World states, followed the OAU's lead. Supporting one group allowed the international community to streamline funding, training, and diplomatic pressure against South Africa. Comparison of recognition status. Feature: SWAPO. Internal groups. The Multi-Party Conference, UN status. Sole and authentic representative. Not recognized, viewed as puppets. Strategy: armed struggle plus diplomacy. Constitutional negotiation with South Africa. Primary goal: immediate, total independence. Gradual transition, power sharing. External support: UN, OAU, Soviet bloc. South Africa. This exclusive recognition remained in place until the transition to independence began in 1989. At that point, the UN shifted its role to that of an impartial supervisor under Resolution 435, ensuring that all parties, including the internal groups, could compete in free and fair elections. Would you like to explore the specific legal arguments South Africa used to challenge this UN recognition at the International Court of Justice?
I hope you are with me and you listen very attentively. Why the first group, the SWAPO, which is SWAPO, Southwest Africa People's Organization, why the UN decided to recognize them, give them the international recognition of Namibia to become a country? You may ask why. And there is many reasons why why SWAPO was the favorable, or who maintained the law, the criteria of the UN for giving recognition. What are those criteria that made it? Let us go into the program. The United Nations decision to recognize the Southwest Africa People's Organization, SWAPO, SWAPO, as a sole and authority representative of the Namibian people. In 1973 was brutal movement decolonization history. This status gives SWAPO immense diplomatic leverage over other internal group, often referred as the pro-South Africa on the modern factors. Now, in this all the group that happened in Namibia, after the 1960 declaration, another four group emerged. Like after our peaceful declaration on the November the 24, 29, 2024, what you see today was you see Ogenkere group, you see Mamadou Abo, you see those nuclear motor pilots, you see IPOB, you see Masop. Why do I point at after declaration? IPOB was there, don't know the road to declaration. Masop was there, don't know the criteria to make a declaration or form a government. What happened until we used the registered organization BIAFRA Government in Exile entity by Simon Ebanjoko, the Prime Minister, to make the declaration of the USV they are declared, like people of Republic of Namibia under the organization called SWAPO, Southwest African Organization, to make the declaration of Republic of Namibia. What happened after they have done that? After they have made this declaration, after they have made this declaration, so after they have made this declaration in exile in 1960 by country called Namibia today, Namibia was in exile and South Africa was doing all they like in the territory of South Africa, in the territory of Namibia, until 1990. I said Namibia started their journey from year 1915 to 1990 before they can be able to take over their territory after the recognition that comes from the UN. Is when Namibia take over their territory. The same route and the same way is what we are today for the people of Biafra today. That is why I said that Namibia is a fully a lesson to every Biafran in the world who claim that you are dictating, you are fighting for Biafra as a country after the declaration of Namibia in the past. Remember, I keep on reminding you that Namibia started their journey in abroad, in exile, from the 1915 to 1990, 75 good years that Namibia was in exile. And South Africa is in charge of the territory until the final election was being conducted by the United Nations. That is when South Africa packed their load and left the territory of Namibia. There is a due protocol. There is a law. Even that it was not in the 21st century. Talk less of now, there is a law of this 21st century. Now there is law of 21st century of having a new nation. In those years that the South Africa was in the territory of Namibia, 75 years after their declaration, South Africa is conducting election in the territory. Namibia did not come and say, we have declared it because of that. No, they waited until on the due process before they can be able to take over their land. Immediately the United Nations finally approved all the approvable. Despite that the United Nations organized them in 1970, they did not go home. Talk about their territory. They waited. They did what? They waited until they formalized everything about their movement of going back home. Talk about their territory. Then, when the EU played their role, what happened? The EU was the first to sanction South Africa before UN. Once the South Africa get all this sanctions, what happened? They walked away in this their movement. All for justice, I know you have started again today. I will soon block you. If you are here, you are not listening to this lesson of Namibia, I will kick you out of the platform, because I know you. This is the question you always ask. Last program you are here, I asked this the same question you asked me what you did. I don't want to be defeated by what I'm doing. That is why I'm warning you direct. Because that thing you think you know is not going to give me Biafra as a country. So, my people, look at why. Yes, it is Pedro. That is Pedro, really. I know. That is the name of Don Pedro. Thank you so much, Chigozie. You are, in fact, you are there. So, if Namibia can be in exile for 75 good years after, okay, let us do it this way. They make their declaration in 1960. From 1960 to 1990. How many years? How many years? Because Namibia traveled down to their territory in 1990. That is when they take over their territory, finally. And in all these years, of total of 75 years, the South Africa is in the territory of the Namibian people, using people like Don Pedro to conduct election in the territory of South Africa. Because the four group that was emerged, the only one who said, we boycott the election was the SWAPO, was the one who said, we boycott the election. DTA refused to. DTA refuses to do what? To boycott the election. That's why there are still Namibia people like Don Pedro, or all for Matic, all for justice. Now, if not for that one, another group still, another one called let me bring it out. Another one called in abbreviation SWATF. that was being piloted by the installed in Namibia by South Africa. By what? By South Africa. They are there doing everything for South Africa. Why SWAPO, we said, we boycott the election, they will go in. What of the number 3 of them? The TRBLDGP. This another group also that has emerged. They also remain in South Africa conducting election. When the government that met the election said, we don't want to election again, these groups that are working for South Africa, like Dom Pedro or All for Justice, they are the one conducting election. They are the one contributing and piloting the affairs of South Africa in the territory of Namibia. But the truth remains that is why we are learning a lesson from Namibia, that after all these groups, like the one called Action Congress Nation, ACN, all of them was against the declaration of Namibia as a country. They was against. But what happened? The lesson of today is why after all these groups, why recognition was being handed over to SWAPO, Southwest Africa Peace Organization, that made the declaration of Republic of Namibia. So we continue. So let us see. Now the question is, here is why the UN bypassed other group to favor SWAPO. Why did they hand the recognition to SWAPO? Or you listen to why they did that. Number 1, the armed struggle and effective resistance. Remember that they started their movement 1915. Then on 1960, they make their declaration. In 1960, they make the declaration. After their declaration, they drop all armed struggle. And the UN given recognition said that because of there was a time that they was using armed struggle, they were continuously fighting resistance fight from South Africa. That the effective of the resistance, like when Alberto Obie is here with us, when the Biafra Liberation Military are fighting resistance fight against Nigeria, without us even knowing that they have compromised and doing us, they play, they show, is what they are doing that time. When they are no longer using their mind to work for us, under Obatobe, Simon, and Joko. What happened? On that happens, what happened? Then the people of the UN and the AU, that EU, that giving final recognition, said, because of when they are into struggle, they remain resolute. When they leave armed struggle, they still stand resolute. And who are those groups? It's called them what? Why they favored SWAPO? Why other group shouting, changing through petition or internal position, political position? SWAPO launched an armed liberation struggle in 1966. Remember, they also brought in to the world that before our declaration in 1960, we have been struggling. So they brought it back and showed them evidence that they have military that they was using. When they asked them, where is your military struggle? Where is it? They said, we have done that in the past. So they bring that evidence, they brought it back forward in social media and submit to the UN the military actions proving self-determination of their territory in 1960. After that, bringing that evidence in 1960, in 1968, that was the first time that UN mentioned or talk about Republic of Namibia as a country, not by giving them the official recognition yet. Now, let's continue. Let's continue. They launched their armed struggle in 1960 as evidence vast its military wing, PLAN, People's Liberation Army of Namibia. People's Liberation Army of Namibia. That is how they launched it out. And the world said, okay, so you have, the UN acted like they don't even know that for over these years they are going to armed struggle. They want to know if Namibia people will denounce or deny that they never use armed struggle. That's what they say. Because of their resistance fight and accepting that they have gone into armed struggle with South Africa is proving that they believe in the due cause. They are not doing trade by barter. They was be able to be proud to accepted that they have gone into armed struggle, but we stop it before the declaration. Then after declaration, that we never go back to use that armed struggle again. This is what the people of Namibia did in their own time. They have their military. Like today, we, the Biafran people, under USB, have our own military commanders that are working seriously, not showcasing themselves in social media. I hope you are following. And we are making common sense. I think so. Now, the UN General Assembly increasingly view armed resistance against colonial regime as a long time under international, as a colonial regime as legitimate under international law. They continuously view them. They continuously see them that at that time there was into armed struggle. Remember that world accept armed struggle then. World only deviated, shifted away from armed struggle from 2001. It's when the world, when UN and the international global community walked away from armed struggle and says no. That is the things that we need to know. Please, 1 minute. Listen to the voice as I plug one of our gadgets is down to light, so that we should not lose it. Then we'll continue. So let me keep you busy.
The United Nations decision to recognize the Southwest Africa Peoples Organization, SWAPO, as the sole and authentic representative of the Namibian people in 1973 was a pivotal moment in decolonization history. This status gave SWAPO immense diplomatic leverage over other internal groups, often referred to as the pro-South African or moderate factions. Here's why the UN bypassed other groups to favor SWAPO. 1. The armed struggle and effective resistance. While other groups sought change through petitions or internal politics, SWAPO launched an armed liberation struggle in 1966 via its military wing, PLAN, People's Liberation Army of Namibia. The UN General Assembly increasingly viewed armed resistance against colonial regimes as legitimate under international law. By actively fighting the South African Defense Force, SADF, SWAPO demonstrated a level of commitment and effective presence that the other four groups could not match. 2. Rejection of the internal settlement. South Africa attempted to create an internal government, such as the Turnhale Constitutional Conference, involving hand-picked ethnic leaders. The UN saw these groups as puppets of the apartheid regime designed to delay true independence and preserve South African influence. By recognizing only SWAPO, the UN effectively invalidated any internal settlement that didn't include the main liberation movement. 3. Broad national versus ethnic appeal.
There's something I want you, as we are playing, that this document, that is why it's a lesson to every Biafran, not only USB. In fact, it's a lesson to those who did not believe in the USB we are declared. That is why it's a very big lesson to them. Because you had it here. Let us finish the number 1. Let us finish it. By actively fighting the South Africa Defense Force, SADF, SWAPO demonstrated a level of commitment and effective presence that the other 4 groups could not match. Remember, time of Obatobie, our prime minister, what we are hearing then and what is happening, and the Obatobie refusing to accept any dialogue from anybody from Nigeria. That's why we never were declared. Now, they say that all this time of this showcasing military of Namibia is just a political awareness. The only time it's no longer political awareness is after their what? Their declaration of their country is no longer political awareness. So, when you look at why there was being favored, because they stand on what they want, never deviated. They refuse to agree any political means from Nigeria, from South Africa, like IPOB today accepting political movement from the hands of Nigeria. Is it not true? But what the SWAPO refused to accept in the hands of South Africa is what the IPOB organization accepted from the hands of Nigeria. Then the UN said that they are not serious. You see? UN sees that, says in this way, that these groups, that the second group, DTA, and all of them are not serious. That the only serious-minded organization, which is the one that make that declaration, is the only one that is serious-minded, that they want their country, call Namibia as their own, not the other way around. We continue. Now, let's continue. By actively fighting the South Africa Defense Force, SADF, SWAPO demonstrate a level of commitment, effective presence that other 4 groups did not match. Can you hear that? They refuse anything political solution. They refuse anything political solution. This is what Ojukwu did not refuse. You know, he came back. He joined Nigeria politics. And the IPOB could not learn a lesson from what happened to Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. That is why Biafra failed, because if Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu remain in exile like people of Namibia, when South Africa come to buy them, they all flew away from the territory and went into exile. If Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu could have continued from exile, believe you me now, I could not be here talking about Biafra to become a country again. And that's the same mistake that Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu did by accepting political solution from Nigeria. It's the same thing IPOB is doing today. Political solution again. That never solves any problem. That is what happened. The SWAPO refused to accept. Why other groups accepted it? Other groups, the 4 groups accepted that they need political solution. That is why the UN, right after when they decided to recognize Namibia as a country, they only recognize who? The SWAPO, that refuses to accept any political solution from South Africa. And that is why the government of USB refused political solution in anything that we are doing today. Because that means that we have compromised. Rejection on the internal settlement. How SWAPO rejects any internal settlement from South Africa. Do you know that when they are doing this thing that the UN is watching without them even knowing? That is why I told that everything that we are doing today, that the world are watching us after our peaceful declaration. That is when they have power to come in to talk about us and watch us properly. If they are watching us before 20%, after our peaceful declaration, they are watching us 75%. So that is how they are watching us. South Africa attempt to create an internal government through these 4 groups, such as the Talahin Constituted Conference, involving head packing entity leaders. They pack many entities of the Namibia. They bring many of them in, like bringing Ohanezendibo, like bringing all these groups in Nigeria today that claiming that they are one Nigeria. South Africa did that method. So Nigeria they copied their lesson of what they are doing from the hands of South Africa. If you check very well, all the criteria of what South Africa did to people of Namibia is the same thing that Nigeria government is doing to us right now, using our own to fight us. That is why you see Ogenkere. That is why you see Mamadou Abo. That is why you see Masob. That is why you see IPOB, and many of them just like that. You know that our people never come to realize the power of the 21st century law of a peaceful declaration. That is what serves the people of Namibia, declaration. I want to remember that this rejection of the internal settlement from South Africa, from SWAPO, it says the UN saw this group as a puppet of the appetite regime designed to delay through independency and preserve South Africa influence. That is how they see DTA. That is how they see SWATF. There is, in these four groups that merge after the announcement or proclamation or declaration of the Namibia as a country, all these groups look at how the UN sees them. So for you who are in the autopilot, for you who are in the BGC, for you who are in the fake fallback and IPOB and MASOB, the same way that the world will see all these four groups that comes after the declaration and be fighting the declaration document and everything, the world will see them as betrayer, as those that are working to keep influence of South Africa in the territory of Namibia. The same thing that the world are seeing you right now, but you may not understand until the due time comes. Until the due time comes, then you will understand why what you are doing is delaying the movement of the United States of Biafra. Remember, South Africa attempt to create an internal government, which is Ogenkere, Mamadou Abo today, IPOB, MASOB, and all these people I'm seeing making noise in social media. To the HINA Constitution Conference, what they call it, involving head-packed entity leaders, all the entities, all the groups, all the organizations in Namibia. The South Africa went to go and bring them in to say that they don't want it. And the UN said, in the eyes of the UN, UN saw these groups as a puppet or of the appetite regime designed to delay the true independence and the preserve South Africa influence in Namibia for not being a country. Do you hear it? Hey, you think that is by what you think. By recognizing only UN, by recognizing only the UN effective in invalidity, any internal settlement that did not include the men liberation movement. That any internal settlement that comes that SWAPO refuses, like we, the people of United States of Biafra, that use the bridge organization or entity to make a peaceful declaration of United States of Biafra. Today, we are working as a country, every people are working as a group, as an individual organization, like the four organizations that merged after the declaration of Namibia in 1960. Number 3, border national versus ethnic apply. Number 3, many of these groups in Namibia at the time we organize along significant entity lines representing only the heroes of drama of the white settlement. They want to go as if the white people in Namibia doesn't want Namibia as a country. That is all about the black people of Namibia. Could you see the racist agenda they bring out? What happened? SWAPO, despite having a strong be among the overview people, successfully banned itself as a three-entity national movement dedicated to unveil Namibia. They refused to accept as they were one entity like those who are calling an Igbo nation. They refuse. That is why USB government can never mention Igbo nation. Nothing like Igbo nation. Igbo nation is an entity. It's a group of people. That is the same thing happened in Namibia. When people of Namibia are trying to represent that it's an entity or one group of colored people wants another new country. You see? And what happened? The SWAPO refused to accept it because it is against the criteria of the UN to ask of Igbo nation. That is why when they give Mazi Nnamdi Kanu 5 states, he says no. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu take a 5 state, he fell under the UN law. And nobody will talk about us anymore. That is when it is easy for Nigeria to wipe us away. That is why we are not fighting about Igbo nation, but we are fighting for a country called United States of Biafra. Do you understand it clearly? Before we go more, I must thank those. I must mention the name of those brothers who are here from where I stopped. There is a place I stopped here. Yes. Mommy Margaret, good evening from here. Shikwado, good evening from here. Charles, good evening from here. Ogonaya, good evening from here. James, good evening from here. And who else again? You said you are Success Rebria from Brazil. You are welcome, or sorry, Russia. Thank you so much. Thank you. Fresh Kid, I see you. Thank you so much. Christy Biafra son, thank you so much. Estobin, thank you so much. Ushe Jofo, thank you so much. Chinedu Wiku, thank you so much. Mommy Margaret, I greet you again. These are those are here. I welcome you to the platform. Please just hit the like button as you join us. I want you to hit the like button and also please like. Jerry, you are here also. Before we move, please like and share the program, please. I want you to like and share the program. Help me to like, share this program. Let us learn our lesson. Why you need to share the program is to make it go viral. So those who never learned their lesson can learn the lesson from what happened to Namibia. That if you are still having double mind about USB we are declared, that is why I'm also doing this program. That I want you to know that there is no reason why you haven't double mind used in Namibia. And today, if you check about the history of Namibia and the history of Biafra movement, we are in the same thing that is happening to us. That is thing that happens to Namibia is what we, as the Biafran people, are passing through today. After our declaration, you saw this group, and also happened in Namibia. After their own declaration, many groups emerge. Many groups come out after their declaration. That is why you must understand where we are and why I am calling on you to stand on the side of the USB we are declared. So, can you see that this declaration is everything? UN has never recognized those that are not under the SWAPO that make a declaration, those that stand resolute, those that never debated for once, those remain who they are. This is what happened in Namibia. That is why I want you to see it and you need to know that what we are passing through today is the same thing. That should be a lesson to all of us. This should be a lesson to all of us. So if you are still coming and donating under USD with double mind, please donate with your full mind. Donate with what? Your full mind. So you may understand why you have to do that is the only USB we are declared. It is the only option that you have. Despite all their shenanigans, now let us continue. the UN preferred to support a genuine, unfailingly force rather than a fermented group of ethnic basic people which they are afraid of being a country, the world leader to civil war. So when if war broke out, if you accepted a political solution from the South Africa, then what next? The question is, what next? The next that the world will not talk about you. That is why Mazi can never believe in ethnic agitation, in ethnic country. The Igbo world, the Igbo nation talking about is ethnic country, not the criteria of a country in the eyes of the UN. It's not. Hope you had it here, that they prefer to recognize a group that's acting like they are a country, not for ethnic group. Not for what? Not for ethnic group. So when you see those talking about the 5 Igbo nation, don't mind them. It can never happen because UN or any other organization now to the world power will never recognize them as a country. They will not. That is why I want you to pay attention. Let us learn our lesson from here. Then number 4, Cold War. Cold War, geopolitics, and the OAU. Then there is a Cold War in the Namibia. Now, when you look at the criteria of Namibia and their movement to become a member of the UN, I see you. Good evening from here, Tina. You're welcome. So when you listen to the movement of Namibia about the SWAPO that make the declaration of an independent state of Namibia, there is something you have to take home. That is why I said they are pure a lesson. 1, they are the first to make declaration. Remember, after Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, did Biafra have any another real declaration in our time? Have we? The answer is no. The only time we have a real declaration is this time of our DPM. Those who are busy stood up and make that declaration. That is the only time. The same thing, that those that made the declaration of Namibia as a country was the one that UN recognized, not any other group. After the declaration of Namibia, I put it to you, there are 4 groups emerged in Namibia movement. 4 groups. Then, if you put the organization of them all, which is SWAPO, you have the 5 group. And you had it here that out of these 5 groups, that's why UN decided to recognize SWAPO, that the main declaration was they are seen as a country acting like a nation. Not those who are acting as an ethnic group. Igbo nation is ethnic group. And in the criteria of becoming a country in the world, nothing like ethnic group. That is why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu refused to accept 5 Igbo nation, because nobody will grant you recognition. You just be there under landlock. They will cage you, they will buy you, and nobody will talk. So I want to know that USB, like what the people of SWAPO did in the time of the declaration and making Republic of Namibia to become a country, is what USB is representing today. They bring this from the South Africa. Okay, they bring it. Okay, give this group their ethnic group. UN says no. That the only group you're going to recognize is that group that make a declaration acting as a general government of a nation, is the only one who have the right. And who does that? That was the SWAPO, represent the entire Namibia territory as a one country. UN now did what? Give them recognition when it's come to the international recognition that we are looking for. I hope you are following. The Organization of the African Unity, OAU, played a massive role. The OAU Liberation Commitment backed SWAPO inclusively because we are acting like a country in waiting. And the UN General Assembly, then dominated by the newly adopted third world states following the OAU leader, supporting one group, allowing the international community to centerline founding, training, and the diplomatic pressure against South Africa because SWAPO stand as a government of a nation, not a government of a entity group. Now, in the compression of recognition status, future SWAPO internal group, the multiple party conference. Who are these multiple party conference? Is the four group, which is, I have mentioned this four group to you. Like I said, if you go to our WhatsApp group, you will see all these four groups and what they are doing. So let me go back to the group from our group WhatsApp and bring you the names of this ethnic party group that South Africa put into Namibia for representing them. And the world make it openly that these people are not working for us. Today, one good thing that I'll keep on reminding you is that just go to the Google, type, where can I find the map of United States of Biafra? Or is it anything like the map of United States of Biafra? Go and check and find out. What you will see there is what? What you will see is United States of what? Biafra. Let me show you here before I show you the other one. Look at this, my phone here. Look at it. You will see that red dot. Let me enlarge it for you. You will see the red dots on this and you see the flag. If you follow that arrow, it will lead you on the head of that arrow, like on the top. What you will see? You will see United States of Biafra. I want you to know that USB is moved. We are going home. Just stay there and be playing around. So the world will see you as this name I'm going to mention right now. The name of the four group. After the declaration of the Namibia as a country, what happened? There is a party name, a group that has started working. Their name was DTA in abbreviation. Check and find out by yourself. And the SWATF, another group, that is the second one. The third one, TROBLTP, another group also at March. And also you have ACN. These are the parties, these are the groups that had deviated after the declaration of Namibia in 1960. This last one of them took the government of Namibia that made the declaration to court, and they never won the case, like Hogan Killer. You never know what could have entered because of the Namibia. The SWAPO has the document of the declaration in their hand and all the evidence. Do you also know that when the UN asked all this group, are you into armed struggle before the declaration? They said no. When they asked the government of Namibia, the SWAPO, they said yes, we are using armed struggle to defend ourselves. UN marked them good and said, okay, that means under self-determination. They said yes, that we have defended ourselves. And when we find out that we can no longer defend, that is why we run into exile, because we don't want to commit crime in the eyes of the UN. You see the argument and the one by them. The SWAPO won against this four group and against all odds. The UN organized SWAPO as the present, as the authentic, as the authority, as the government of the people, not party group, not ethnic group, not 5 group. This is what happened in Namibia. That's why I said today, let us learn our lesson. After Ogenkire going to Washington needs to have a handshake, is it the option? The answer is no. What is the government structure? Nothing. And in this government structure, you must present your government structure to the UN, and they will see it by themselves. They are the one to see it by themselves, not any other person to see. Now what happened? Look at it. UN status. So, and the authority representative by the SWAPO. Then internal group by the plotting from the South Africa, not recognized, viewed as a puppet. These 4 groups that merged after the declaration, the UN sees them as what? As the puppet of South Africa. So if you are IPOB, if you are MASOB, if you are Fallback Bridge, if you are CRC or BGC, whatever you may call yourself, the UN that's observing what we are doing right now, they see all of you, these four groups, as what? Not recognized by the UN, view as a puppet. They see you as a poop, as a toy. They see you as someone who represents South Africa. So all of you in this movement and are still doing this movement, the UN and the world power sees you as a puppet of one Nigeria list, who you are problem in terms of Nigeria, that want to delay the movement of the USB we are declared. And we are not going to allow you to do that. That is why we are here. Then strategy, armed struggle, diplomatic and the peaceful declaration at last for SWAPO. Then for all the four internal groups, constitutional negotiation with South Africa. They are negotiating with South Africa like what IPOB is doing today against Mazen and Kano. These four organization that merged after the 1960 declaration, what happened? The UN sees them as what? That they are negotiating their problem with South Africa. Could you imagine that? Look at the example. That is why let us learn a lesson here. Now, primary goal, immediate total independence of Namibia people by SWAPO. Then internal four group. How do UN see them? You see them as the guardian power of sharing with South Africa. External support, UN, OAU, Soviet bloc support the SWAPO. They never support the internal four group. South Africa supporting them. South Africa was one supporting this four group that has merged after the declaration of Namibia in 1960. This exclusive recognition remained in the place until the transition to independence began in 1989. At that point, the UN shifted its rule to that of an important supervision under the resolution of 435, ensuring that all parties, including the internal group, remember the word internal group, after the declaration of the Namibia, the UN called them what? Internal group, could compete in a free and fair election. Now, what happened? You want to play with them. UN now said, okay, fine, let us go and conduct election in all of you. And they said no. The letter said yes. The UN said, okay, let us conduct this election. As they conduct the election, the SWAPO that made the election won with 57 votes. The TDA, who see as themselves the rival of this, that they are the one that will stop the SWAPO. What happened? They got only 29. The SWTF got 10. The ACN gets only 10. Then the DT something, that one gets only what? Only 5. The matter closes. Even at that, when UN have already recognized the SWAPO, they start argue. All of them start argue. Uchenna, my brother, you're welcome. All of them start argue. And UN say, okay, come. You say you have a group that you are the one supposed to be, or let us conduct election. And they conduct election, they all fell woefully. They all did what? All fell what? Woefully. Learn your lesson from this that happened to Namibia. Learn your lesson. Stop being deceived. Stop being deceived. So on this junction, this program, I will play it again. As I am playing it, I will put the link in case you want to join me on the studio, or if you want to call. All of them is allowed. But if you want to join me in the studio, as I'm playing it right now, I will allow you to.
Many of the other groups in Namibia at the time were organized along strictly ethnic lines, representing only the Herero, Damara, or white settlers. SWAPO, despite having a strong base among the Ovambo people, successfully branded itself as a trans-ethnic national movement dedicated to a unified Namibia. The UN preferred supporting a single, unifying force rather than a fragmented group of ethnically based parties, which they feared would lead to civil war. 4. Cold War geopolitics and the OAU. The Organization of African Unity, OAU, played a massive role. The OAU's Liberation Committee backed SWAPO exclusively, and the UN General Assembly, then dominated by newly independent Third World states, followed the OAU's lead. Supporting one group allowed the international community to streamline funding, training, and diplomatic pressure against South Africa. Comparison of recognition status. Feature: SWAPO. Internal groups. The Multi-Party Conference, UN status. Sole and authentic representative. Not recognized, viewed as puppets. Strategy: armed struggle plus diplomacy. Constitutional negotiation with South Africa. Primary goal: immediate, total independence. Gradual transition, power sharing. External support: UN, OAU, Soviet bloc. South Africa. This exclusive recognition remained in place until the transition to independence began in 1989. At that point, the UN shifted its role to that of an impartial supervisor under Resolution 435, ensuring that all parties, including the internal groups, could compete in free and fair elections. Would you like to explore the specific legal arguments South Africa used to challenge this UN recognition at the International Court of Justice?
I hope you paid attention and you listen to it again. As that is the link, in case if you want to join us, hit the link and let us hear what you think, or if this lesson from what happened to Namibia is not good for us. And please, I urge you to hit the like button. You are watching program, but you don't want to like it. What was the offense that I committed of trying to bring a different thing that will make you to understand that USB is on the right track and that what we are doing, the people have done it in the past? You watch program, you will not like, you will not share, then you will not subscribe. What was my offense? Why are you helping those who don't want this to go viral? Because when you are not liking the program, you are helping them. So I urge you, please, to like and share. Subscribe to the YouTube page if you know the program, to people to see it more. And I also send my link on the comment section right now. If you want to enter, you enter. And also I also post the link of my Facebook, because I want to share this message on the Facebook also. Yes, you're welcome to the program. Triple M, you can unmute.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you, Triple M. You're welcome to the program.
Studio ya charalo kuna kipazwa.
It's a gradual process. I thank all of you for supporting the studio.
Oh, kabia mayekele. Alright, akipazwa. Ore wegiru.
For sure.
My brother, Kelenda TV. Thank you so much, my brother, for good work. Anybody that says they are not learning anything from you in particular, they must be telling themselves lies. Because what we are doing today, what you are doing has opened so many eyes of our people. Thank you so much. Hidden truth. You have unveiled all of them. You see, the case of this Namibia is a significant to our we speak now.
Yeah.
I greet my people at the comment section. Pardon my manners, please. We are going home soon. And there is something you just said now that will happen in our own no distant time from now. What was that? The issue of recognition coupled with all these mediocre jumping from pillar to pole. Once USB gets recognition, you will see the argument you said that happened in Namibia. You also said, we are being here. We are the ones that have been pushing this struggle. How come you're not doing this? How come now you're not recognizing USB? That came yesterday. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Okay, men and Kanye. The question is, the routes are towing today. There are people that are willing to tow that route. What was their end? Did they succeed? That is the only thing you need to ask yourself. Because before you do something, someone must have done that thing you did.
Speaker,
because the people that did. I am getting feedback, please.
Yeah, I have mute, sir. Divine, please, can you mute small? After you finish, then you open your mic.
Okay, I wanted to know whether the same thing.
Okay, just let me mute my.
You are on that damn issue, but the speaker triple M. I'm on all the same thing. Because the voice that I did double.
I did not own any gadget here.
Divine Precious, are you listening from a different gadget?
If any, yes, that is another
No,
thing.
I only have one. My phone.
Go on, let me see. Let me off my one Bluetooth here, see whether the thing will stop. Okay, go on.
I wanna go. Is it okay now?
I think from me it's okay from here. I don't know about other people. Divine Precious, is it okay from your location?
No, your own is okay, but our own is echoing.
Okay, you know what? Let me go out and come back again.
Okay, because I don't think it will end. I think it's coming. Okay, Divine Precious, you can go on.
Congratulations. More wins for you. We can I'm on a go new topic. DPM or tie going na pipeline. So ndị ga na abawo. Ima no way ya. So all the can stop going on. All the cozy kita. All the can get triple M kadi noise.
No, it's from me because I muted my own. So when you're talking, it's very. So what I will do if you are talking, I will mute my mic. When you finish, I will mute. Yes.
Am I echoing? I think it's okay now, right?
Yes.
All right. So, based on what I'm saying before, this thing now where exactly here and keep us, and then nothing will stop it. It will happen. But the question is, where is it gonna end? Who is taking the lead? I came across a video that Kai Report made regards to their so-called Okengwe that calls himself a prime minister, where he was shouting, saying that you can't talk to international community without being a government. You have to form a government in exile. Then you now go and talk to international community. I was like, oh yeah. He's trying to credit himself for them to begin an organization, because he made mention of it can't be an organization. It can't be organization and you go to international community to talk to them. They will not listen to you. I was like, look at this animal. This is what our PM said when we are in government in exile under Briggy, saying that minus redeclaration, we are only making noise. Then we were able to gather our self-referendum document and go to Finland on 29th of November 2024 and redeclared and select the fastest brain and the good brain that will push for our recognition, for all our alliance to know where we are heading to. These guys jumped out, began to shout, we are going back. Then why is he now coming out now to talk about being government? This now should be an eye-opener for those morons that is following him to now ask themselves if they are really following the rightful person. And he can't even tell them what he have achieved since he declared himself as a prime minister. All he keep on peddling on is contribute. Bring your money. The one they contributed and the BIAFRA money he ran away with, even with the IOU loan. Till today, he has not given account of it. he's still demanding for more. No, it is USB or nothing. Gradually, we are coming. Some years back, we are not in official current map of the world. Republic of Biafra and Bight of Biafra was in the old map. They removed it from the current state, but the declaration of USB have brought it back, and it came back with a new name. The United States of Biafra is no longer Republic of Biafra. Biafra, go check and balance. Now, can about USB war. Because we are not dealing with spiritual things. Those that have already died with this particular struggle. I know so many of them, on the point of their death, they will tell their partner, you see, I am dying because of this struggle. You should make sure that this struggle come. The spirit of those people will keep on tormenting all these mediocres and those that sees this this freedom fighting as a money-making machine. Now keep as well. Thank you so much, my brother. Our channel is skyrocketing. We move.
Thank you so much, Triple M. Thank you so much. We are here to deliver the message that we can give to us in a gentle way or in another different form with what we are doing here. So let us give my sister, Divine Precious, the mic to speak to us while I mute my own. Divine Precious, you can unmute and go on, my sister.
Thank you, Rachina. I'm very, very happy because was back to back. They was complain about the kwesịrị igosi anyị n'anya fọrọ. Guitar, we want to know. I might not be there, but I'm known with somebody now around that can one day even more can come across. That is why social media is the highest among how to make this movement to be known to the world. Because often about social media, and this your particular area, it decided can focus on at that place. The majority of our problem, and you are just doing justice in that area. It explain here very well. So on my video made this Triple M. Sorry for I when you were carried away when I come into studio.
I see your hand. I keep asking how we play the show.
Yes, and also ndị nọkwa na comment section. I'm sorry because I've been busy. And my like in other atinye ọnụ mana anọ m fan ya ana m na egelu so kita nchozi ikwu okwu ka ha fụrụ ihe m na-eme sị ka m bịa tinye ọnụ. So ekene m onye ọbụla. So o nwere video m made this morning. The title ya bụ Beyond Thought. The head of the bone of the contention there ihe na bụ o nwere video nọ na ebe ajụ question what is the deadliest animal in the world. So I na-azacha nke m bukwe n'uche na-asị ka mmagonere ihe nwa na-ege the deadliest eweke ọbụla nke m bu n'uche. To my greatest surprise ọ bụrụ mosquito. For the to be honest, I was watching it with my husband. See this man or this Jojo Falani na they make some question and then on the so now to go there as man my water you not mosquito or mosquito cook. Also be head no mosquito. I think or a book hand no public people are watching, everybody. Also yes, not the correct. Say do I know the reason that mosquito juebolo the answer to that thing nothing kind or they are possible or on a day ka egwu ki na-egwu maka no ndị ọcha ka o si na not only that mosquito is killing na-egbu ndị ọcha na ya ụdị nke na-ataba anyị maka anya meziri ịbịa na obodo Igbo ha na-treat both ma mgbe oge and some places or dị mafụ dị acha because no ogbugo ha enough. Also, na mechetere mgbe Trump na-ekwu na ya ga-abịa na Nigeria. O nwere one onye ọcha na-ekwu sị m na ma ya o ji wee sị ya unu chekwa na unu ga-emenwu ya unu na-eme ihe na abịakwa that they will send them mosquito. Now, mom says, go here, made that marriage. Also, no, that reason, coach, we couldn't that Makana Hawa to them on a what all these things. The man do ekutokwa. Ignorance is our problem. And thank God today we go means of solving that our problem. That is healing that. Yeah, all the high or the possible. All answer be here. Onya zalo snake za tiger za muyena dalia. That's mosquito ka chọrọ ịnụ maka na mosquito bụ ihe yiri egwu so ha wee site na ya bụ the deadliest ọ dịrị na record ọ dịrị like that because e nwere ebe ukwu ahụ si wee pụta inwe ọ bụrụ na ị dị right no na ihe ọ bụ no na ihe kpatara for them is deadly for them for us enwere ike ma ya bụ mana the question bịara from their own angle you must adapt with it ịmazi maka na n'uche nke gị what you thought or brought the reality bụ na ha nwa na o may have affect so ye ji wekwutokwa bụ na the same thing is happening in many ways of our life even to this our movement because ihe ka na-egbu ndị be tomorrow bụ ihe ha chere not the reality and thank God Chino na ebe a na nkịta na-egbulili anyị to the in fact any question ị nwere about all this confusion bịa Chino is there to answer you because na mụnwa na onwe m enwetago ebe nna na-asị hey ọ gịnị bedere ke ndị anụnwa mana kịta aghọtawago m ya anyị ma agwa gị sovereign nation all this thing ndị mmadụ aka ghọtawabịa maka onye nọ na comment section na-ajụkwa a ga-emela anyị ha mee ebe ndị ihe na ka dị nchajo mgbe ọ ga-eme ha vum n'anya ọ ga and even inego sometimes ago emego several voting from different people you see them placing USB bridge nna voting na-enwetagodo na bridge emerekwu ya maka onye ịma some people nna amadị nna abịafe click wee banye mfu ka USB si aga verify ọkwa ndị ma amarọ but just to tell I know ya meziri na this oge kere na ndị group ya ifu ka ha si gbafucha some people ifele ekwere ha nachite bịa shokwe their face ebe ha anọz nọ n'ọrụ ha na-ekwute ije na page ha ya na-akọzi ihe Nigeria ihe the world ọ bụ ozi ifu na ha eso ha na-echezi mgbe ọcha mana ana m agwa gị eziokwu when this thing will be over all of them must join because there is any other place that is legitimate than this government USB so my brother thank you very much Chineke ga-enyere aka okwu ga-ama na ama njọs wụsa na ogute ọ ga-aba n'ime ana meta mkpụrụ thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Divine Precious. There is one thing I want our people to understand is this. When UN finally give SWAPO, that's make declaration, to transfer the example right now like USB, when we are in the bridge registered by Simon that we travel with them bridge to Finland. When Namibia did the same thing. Now, when UN decided to do organization goes to those who are under those who use the SWAPO to make declaration. When other people wanted to try to make noise, UN said, okay, on this, all of you should come. But do you know why UN bring them? UN bring them in because all of them, South Africa sponsored them to be heading to UN. That time, what is running is UN, not Washington, D.C. So everybody is running to UN. So that is why UN said, now we have organized the SWAPO that make the first declaration. All of you are against it. Okay, can we conduct election to all of you? They said yes. The UN now conducted internal election to the people of Namibia. The SWAPO that make that declaration in 1960 won the result with 57 votes of their cabinet members then. Then do you know that this DTA, who act like IPOB right now, get only 29 votes. Now, those the ACN that are acting like okay, who took USB to court, they get only 10 votes. That is how the matter ended. And the UN told them that all of you must drop and submit to the Republic of Namibia under the SWAPO that make declaration. That is how the matter died natural death in Namibia. So the same thing is applicable to all of us today. So when you make your noise, you are watching to Washington DC. But the question is, that is our program tomorrow. Can going to Washington having handshake is only way to get the attention of the international community for recognition. That program is on the cooler on this page right now, waiting for tomorrow. So if you like, go to Washington DC for 1,000 years, have check hand. They cannot trigger UN to recognize us as a country unless we, the government of USB, use their lobby from the congressmen, send a document to the UN, and the only entity, the only people that send the document of declaration to the UN is the only USB that are declared through the leadership of Dr. Ngozi Arabeze. There is no other one. When you flow everything happening, you understand. For here, there is a question I asked under research to compare what is going on between our DPM and Dr. Ngozi Arabeze. Our DPM against Ogen said, Ogen Kere only having handshake in Washington, D.C., while Dr. Ngozi Arabeze is on diplomatic mission and also sending a document to every appropriate authority that she is doing more as a nation. Why Ogen Kere is acting like a mere political party? That is when I said, why should I bother to be playing the video of such a person? And I don't have the time, because I have already seen that the UN has acknowledged that our document of declaration is in their office through the leadership of Dr. Ngozi Arabeze. EU has also recognized that the USB declaration document is in their office. AU in Africa has. Every organization, every country in the world has also seen the USB declaration document in their table as the legal right of the people of the United States of Biafra as a country. Not like what people claiming 5 states, Igbo nation. Igbo nation can never give you Biafra as a country, even though they said it's the Igbo nation is only Biafra territory. UN cannot answer to what, because they said we don't answer to ethnic group alone, but we answer a well organized structure of a government with different ethnic and mother tongue as a country. So do not panic. USB is on the right track. So 3 p.m. if you don't have something to say because of my time, I leave the link. I have only 30 minutes more to be here. So if you have something to say, then you can go on. Before I play the audio back again for people to know. And before playing the video, I will also play this particular 4 group that marched from the Namibia after their declaration. So go on, 3 p.m. go on.
My brother, you're very good. Let's just continue. I'll be on the listening session. Thank you.
Divine Precious, if you have conclusion to make, you are free to do, or I play the voice from the beginning to the end for people to know why USB is only solution. Okay. Go on. I mute my mic.
Just to remind us now, that ID card is still on, and on Friday again when ID card capturing, all the very important, and they make you go their own payment here. So you need to DJ your capturing, not need to go through with payments and other ones. Just this. So when much think about that too, can on the other side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and 3 p.m. I thank 2 of you so much for coming, for joining me. Honestly, I am so glad to have 2 of you in the midst of us. Thank you. So let us go.
The United Nations decision to recognize the Southwest Africa Peoples Organization, SWAPO, as the sole and authentic representative of the Namibian people in 1973 was a pivotal moment in decolonization history. This status gave SWAPO immense diplomatic leverage over other internal groups, often referred to as the pro-South African or moderate factions. Here's why the UN bypassed other groups to favor SWAPO. 1. The armed struggle and effective resistance. While other groups sought change through petitions or internal politics, SWAPO launched an armed liberation struggle in 1966 via its military wing, PLAN, People's Liberation Army of Namibia. The UN General Assembly increasingly viewed armed resistance against colonial regimes as legitimate under international law. By actively fighting the South African Defense Force, SADF, SWAPO demonstrated a level of commitment and effective presence that the other 4 groups could not match. 2. Rejection of the internal settlement. South Africa attempted to create an internal government, such as the Turnhale Constitutional Conference, involving hand-picked ethnic leaders. The UN saw these groups as puppets of the apartheid regime designed to delay true independence and preserve South African influence. By recognizing only SWAPO, the UN effectively invalidated any internal settlement that didn't include the main liberation movement. 3. Broad national versus ethnic appeal. Many of the other groups in Namibia at the time were organized along strictly ethnic lines, representing only the Herero, Damara, or white settlers. SWAPO, despite having a strong base among the Ovambo people, successfully branded itself as a trans-ethnic, national movement dedicated to a unified Namibia. The UN preferred supporting a single, unifying force rather than a fragmented group of ethnically based parties, which they feared would lead to civil war.
Sorry, we have a caller here. Yeah, brother, why can't you use the link and come in? Okay, let me, hold on, let me put a speaker on so your voice can come out loud and clear. Just more 1 minute to connect from the speaker. So yeah, now you can go on so we can hear you loud and clear.
But onye ọbụla ga-subscribe bụ ya biko na onye ọbụla ugbu a kpopụrụ subscribe na as one of them now subscribe na biko Biafra gbanụ mbọ subscribe ọnya ka ihe a ga viral. Nwanne anyị nwoke na-preach very good. Ihe m na-amụtabụ before since I was born. Amụtala m ya through him na through nga m na watch that his platform na biko ndị Biafra niile ndị onye ọbụla na-esokwanụ aja ọjọọ mma elekwenye nwaanyị a ga-agụ unu na-ewezikwanụ your time and energy onweghị uru ọ ga-abara that evil woman that adọdọra mma nọ na France. Don't listen to him. Olee unu ga-amụtakwa n'aka ebe ahụ ọ nọ na unu ana na-ege wasịrị ele oge aga nwere gọọmenti ọ ga-emenye anything ele mbụ niile ọra unu na-ewepụta time na-aga listen to him. Unu nwekwara efe Biafra unu nwekwara efe unu nwere efe ọgwa ndị this woman akụrụ na atịrị onweghị even though I'm not like a watch ya biko na gbanụ mbọ na efere na our really Biafra TV na-efere na ụmụrụ ma ekele nna ma Kai television ma Exodus na-efere ọwa ebe akụ unu ga-amụta ihe unu ga-eji ewe na-efere gọọmenti and unu biko na-agbagwanụ mbọ na-akọntribute na ego gosi a na-agba ọba ego ga-eji aga acha ihe ndị na-ema recognition na ma here and there is transport. Ọ bụ ndị na-achị Biafra taa na-eche ọ bụ ego ji unu contribute ego dị kwa afọ na before 3 months or 4 months na ego ihe ndị na-achọ na ọbịa go well. And ọwa na-agbakwanụ awa gọọmenti mgbaazụ ma ndị politician ma ndị here and there your voice is the record. Ọ bụ mgbe Biafra ọ bụrụ mgbe Biafra United Biafra ga-ekwu n'ikpe na lọkọt ọlọkọt ga-emu na lesomnobiri na that exile but ihe ọbụla nwekwara disadvantage ihe ọbụla nwere advantage nwere disadvantage. Any known people moon, your voice is the record. Any day Biafra may have attended now arrival to buy. You got the moon get what touch your voice. The moon, I quit my master, the man they keep your voice record. Them everything all the arrival to buy now Biafra land. You got your neighbor, your uncle get what touch your voice. Every treat and all grand Biafra court the truth or one mother the truth. How will you name it? In future, because now contribute our USB, our banner now. Ugo Chukugano, Ugo Ghana, Ugo 247. Our 1 night, our deep men are, but I won't go to the Guinea now. When go to Guinea now, both academically, financial, everything. But I go over in the Usoku. Ọ ga-akwụ ụgwọ even though you get killed in the office here. He was saboteur. Because our people subscribe on really BIAFRA TV. However, no now, man, they our government. Because I'm my you because now I share in the video. I share almost 40 people now to my friends now. Because I actually can't love him. I'm going on to become my brother.
Thank you so much, Mazushe. You did well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for calling in. Thank you so much. We move. I have my big man, not a big man, my father in the building, Mazi Greg. You can mute your mic and go on, Mazi. Thank you so much for coming. Mazi Greg, you can unmute here. Go on. I'll mute my own mic.
Yeah, Chino, good afternoon. And good afternoon to Biafrans. And Maputa.
But you are coming loud and clear. I will only mute my own to avoid echoing. So go on with the mic until you are through. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is so much. As also congratulations. I just some jump, pay my phone, honey, in my life. I'm gonna na so I'm so congratulations na I graduate. So thank God so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. I thank you for
yeah.
Also.
So thank you so much, because I'm on topic. I just jump on the before I get I'm so congratulations at least. I'm on my own today. Got started at least. For the first time.
Thank you. We are treating learning our lesson from the history of Namibia. Now, after their declaration, there were 4 governments in Namibia, 4 groups that have merged after their declaration. Now, when it's come to the recognition that the UN organized the first group that made that declaration is the one UN organized. And UN also see every other group that merged after declaration as a puppet of South Africa. That South Africa was the one who sponsored the 4 groups that come out to be attacking SWAPO that made that declaration of Republic of Namibia as a country. So for people to know that despite all these groups that the UN said, or they told us towards their law, that the only people they value is the one that with a peaceful declaration document who represents the people as a country, not as an ethnic group like those who are championing Igbo nation that will never come in time, in fact, in the entire world. The world said, if you are claiming ethnic group, you will never become a nation and you can never gain recognition from us. That is the program I am treating, to let Biafrans to know, no matter what you do, no matter what you think, how you think and how you feel is not a way of recognition, but the recognition comes through the UN and their criteria, that you must act as a government, not as an organization. That is why after the declaration of the Namibia in 1960, that the transition into a country, that is why in every example of a declaration that transition into a country these days, what you will see they will give you USB, they will give you United States of Biafra as an example of Namibia, acting as a government and a structure of a country that is going to get international recognition. That is how the world sees everything. So that is why I am letting Biafrans to know that the only option we have is supporting USB. As that what happened in the country of Namibia. That is what I am treating today. Learn a lesson from what happened to Namibia. That is what I am treating. So you can, I think if you want to say something, you are free to mute your mic, brother Greg Mazi, to go on. Please,
yes.
Hold on, please.
Chino, my brother.
Yes. Okay.
You see, man, please hold on for Mazi Greg to submit, please. Can you mute your mic after they take the mic? UC man, please.
Hello, Chino.
Mute your mic. After Mazi Greg, then you can talk, please.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I will also mute. Mazi Greg, go on.
Yeah, my brother, thank you so much. Now, I get mention USB cabinet, USB deputy prime minister, USB citizens. Get mention what about the changen? They couldn't get ngo because on our bako dikis. I'm about ya. So abu na the man snare ogen kere and is evil advisor about a lobby yabo alias and all the evil people surrendered him. I telling him that he will go and get Biafra without having a document and without having authentic redeclaration of Biafra and everything in tight with the support of the people he is forcing himself into. So it will send a lesson to them. Kahama enwe ebe ha na-eji azụ enwe ebe ha ji azụ aga and na-eji azụ agba speed. You can only drive speed when you have your front and you are knowing the direction you are going. That is only where you can go with speed and drive with your Navi. So that is my submission to them. They will learn from the hardware. And it's at the same time encouraging the Biafrans who are following the right path to continue. Don't be like Egu, like Ugo 2-400, because yeah, again. As Egu jidesiri aka ike mgbawa ụmụaka. Yeah, mezie mgbe ọ supposed ịdịrị strong ma ihe na-eme ya hapụ aka n'osisi sizie n'osisi n'elu nkwụ wee hapụ n'ala ụmụ ọkọ wee megene wee na-atụtara ya wee na-ewere ya na-emere nri. That is what is happening to some of them, like we go 247 and those who want to still fall in that category. So everybody must trade with caution, apply wisdom, be tolerant, and at the same time, Megan, we're patient for everything. I won't ask in the government. You don't go and fight the government. Support the government. That's what I expect the reasonable to do. Then the government will see where you fit in. I won't make a position. Maybe you're not doing it well. I still can watch them up. But as again, it's not the right thing to do. So I want to ask one everybody matter of ma help go there character another person. Anyway, reason is not out of hatred. Let another person try. You will see it. I want to matter of ma. You will see it yourself. So I want to immediately Dora Kamba. That was yoga. He create a group. That is not how government work. So I'm using this opportunity. In today's the first time to come in my brother platform to encourage any Biafran. If you are asked to step aside in any position, please do not use it as a target. You quietly give space. Let's see another person do. Continue to support with all your mind. Then the whole world will be a witness that you are doing it very well with all your mind. So that is my latest submission this afternoon, because I just jump in to say let me greet you and say congratulations. I think heaven is on the work. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In Pandeku, I greet you for coming in. I am very happy anytime you're on this page because your submission is always awesome into what we are doing. Thank you so much. So yes, UC Nation, you can have the mic. You can go on. UC man, thank you so much.
Yeah, so my brother. Na mwasi uli were na akpogo muna get one day. And I'm be proud for your program. So nye jiri bata studio today. this my voice in the echo.
The noise is from me, so go on. I will mute my mic. When you finish, I will take over.
Okay, sir. So, Yenji Batana, your studio, Imana, since you video this part now, on only your platform and the calendar and the other Simon Mabunken watch carries now because of Eben na like a name and now you what I go. So yesterday in a program, I complain now because of na in here show kada dora and in here kuma kada dora many people yana like it through your platform. No, that is not the truth. Actually, in encouragement now because this party so now, but the party people now amutanye. Because of this your program now, many people repent from homeland. Yeah, this your partner. You can feel no issue in maybe people through on your platform. Some people are watching it later. Mana encouragement to keep it up because this your program now. Here many people can say the actual truth truth in. Your teachings is beyond their reasoning. Your teachings is beyond their understanding. Understand? Like now, you want share your teachings now. Some people they are afraid. People understand? So like now, other people people easy to go there and comment. Understand? So ENG today now, yesterday in na platform calendar, I spoke there. So man ENG your platform today, I will know what for the party they teach, but I just want to encourage you to keep it up because this your partner. I'm working at this partner is to now be here a yield fruit on the side of the government because what your teachings about the government, understand? And now people believe what the government is doing. Before I want them on a homeland. Okay, mano you cambo. So manama or party limbo mana. Inje na agwa this time. O nwere mgbe a na-agba ụtụ. The option na aka na-agba ụtụ mana o reduce one now. Mana people feel not that ụtụ be here with ihe a na-achọ. But kemgbe iji bido this part na people may not understand now ụtụ enweghị ebe odu anyị aga. Highest now Nigerian government will circle them and they wipe them off. Understand? Even our people now is being used to fight our people here in homeland. Understand? So I want to encourage you to keep it up. This part is so now the part I want now here. If you say we were not Abuja, but I'm watching your live program, but I will click your channel and watch the program immediately that day. Now I'm watch it live. You got to go. So my brother, don't bother whether people need to na your channel or na your channel. It doesn't matter. Your channel now is like a learning house, a learning machine. Or something. You got to go. So why people have some people your teachings is beyond their understanding. Understand? So they have nothing to comment. They will only listen. Understand, my brother? So you see, the government is with the God of Bafra, not forget you. Even I'm proud that Namunagi brother. What I go Google will have on your platform. So I don't miss your program. And even though I miss it, I will come back and watch it. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for that encouragement. Sometimes I feel like maybe our people did not need the message. That the message is not the fact, is not what they want sometimes. Honestly, that is how I feel sometimes. And I said, maybe, but because of this, since I was born, when I wanted to enter secondary school and Nigeria removed history, I lost my hope in school because I believe in a history because I myself come through this world through a history line. So that is why. So sometimes I feel that what makes me I feel like maybe our people did not. But after the program, the calls I will be getting here and there will also give me more to do. So that is why I said now that Biafrans has given me the gadget I am asking them. Now on even the level of hero I get myself. I can watch here and stream wall. Ogadi in a large
Even
number, so you can
even self,
see it.
even self, sorry to interrupt you. Even self, I didn't happy now. Even self, I didn't happy now. And I didn't, your background now is well organized. Everything now is, in fact, I didn't happy. I didn't happy. The first day follow your background, I didn't happy. In fact, I thank God. Keep it up. Keep it up.
And also Biafrans who has helped to get to this level. Honestly, that is why for me, I will continue thanking our brothers, because without them, this page will not be here. That is the truth of the matter. Without Biafrans, this page cannot be here where we are today. In fact, we are from here, we are going to go to better places. We are better stream yard, better where we can be able to be pointing this word hands. All of us can read it in fact, where you can see it clearly. There is where my mind is to head, but in one step at a time, we are going to get in there. The one step at a time of us is like what USB is doing. When I continue hitting that, after the declaration of Namibia and a group emerged, there is many groups who emerge after their declaration. But the issue is that the imagination of all these groups stop the real work. The answer is no. It never stopped them. They continue pushing. What they are doing continue going forward until the world finally see that there is only one government, and that one government was the one that the world recognized because of what they have seen and what the government is doing. So for we as the Biafran people, you see all these groups you are seeing here today, honestly, they have nothing to offer into this movement. Like I said, I want to give you the challenges and all the names of the group that merged when Namibia was in charge, and how they neutralized all the things that happens, and how they finally arrived as the only legitimate government of the people of Namibia. The word is there. One thing that we don't understand is that the way the world are reasoning is not how we reason. The way what we are thinking is not how the world will think about the movement. Like when I said, I am going to play it to you when the world organized Namibia as a country, those that make it possible. And despite all the four groups, I will also keep on reminding you, bringing the names of all these groups to you. Why am I bringing them to you? For you to know that this is the same way today we have people that are against us. Is the same thing that happened to countries, not even only us. So when it has happened to others, do you think that our own should be different from what others have been doing? Answer is no. We are on the same page of what happened to other people in the past. That is the page where we are. So for we, as the Biafran people, we got to continue to do what? To maintain it as what people has passed through. So I want you to listen to the name of the four group that has merged after the declaration of Namibia as a country, and why those groups are there. So listen to this, so you will understand why we must do this part and why we learn a lesson from here. Listen to this.
While the vast majority of people in Namibia supported independence, there were several groups that either opposed the specific vision of the liberation movement, SWAPO, or preferred to stay closely tied to South Africa. These groups were often motivated by ethnic concerns, political ideology, or a desire for a different type of government. The opposition generally fell into three main categories. 1. The Democratic Turnhale Alliance, DTA. The DTA was the most significant internal opposition group. Formed in 1977, it was a coalition of several different ethnic and political parties. Their stance: they wanted independence, but they favored a federal system where different ethnic groups would have their own local power. The conflict: SWAPO and the United Nations viewed the DTA as a puppet of the South African government. The DTA received funding and support from South Africa because they were seen as a more moderate, pro-Western alternative to the socialist-leaning SWAPO. Composition: it includes.
There is a word I want to pick out, that they are receiving fund from South African government. And this DTA was the one that said the DTA was the significant internal operation group found in 1977, whereas the declaration happens in 1960. Their own is that they are even weighted, yo. They are even because if you check from 1960 to 1977, they formed this group. You see that the government that made the declaration, which is SWAPO, was the only authentic government that made that declaration, and they moved away from SWAPO as the organization. They transitioned into Republic of Namibia. Now, this organization called, or the name called SWAPO, they move it into a party name. Till today, that party name is still existing. Till today. The woman who lead this struggle, who joined this struggle to make a declaration, that woman is the one who is the president of Namibia right now, under the same name, SWAPO. Then all this name that was betrayed, all of them was vanished. The truth must stand at all times. So here it's here that this particular group, there was being sponsored and being given money by South African government. The DTA received fund and support from South Africa. Today, what do you think is doing? IPOB gullible. What do you think they are doing? Who is funding them? The South Africa fund 4 groups. And that is the 4 group I want to mention here. You are going to hear. So as you are hearing this group, use your hand to judge yourself if you are still not believing in USB we are declared. That is why I'm doing this program for you. Listen again.
Groups like the Republican Party, representing many white Namibians, and various traditional leaders from the Herero, Nama, and Baaster communities. 2. Ethnic and minority groups. Some groups feared that a SWAPO-led government would be dominated by the Ovambo people, the largest ethnic group. Because of this fear, they sought different political paths. The Rehoboth Baasters, a distinct community that historically had a high degree of self-government. Many within this community wanted to maintain their specific autonomy rather than being absorbed into a centralized Namibian state. The Southwest African Territorial Force, SWATF. This was a local military force established by South Africa. It was made up of many black Namibians, roughly 80% of the force, who fought against SWAPO's military wing. While many joined for jobs, some were ideologically opposed to SWAPO's methods or political ties to the Soviet Union. 3. Hardline colonial supporters. There was a small but vocal group of white residents, particularly within the National Party of Southwest Africa, who wanted the territory to remain a 5th province of South Africa. They supported the apartheid system and strongly resisted any move toward majority rule or total independence. The result: when the first free elections were held in 1989, the results showed the division clearly. SWAPO won 57% of the vote. The DTA, the main opposition, won 29%. The remaining votes went to smaller parties like the United Democratic Front, UDF, and Action Christian National. Even though these groups disagreed on how Namibia should be run, they eventually came together to write the 1990 Constitution, which is still praised today for protecting the rights of all these different groups. Would you like to know more about how these different groups eventually agreed to work together in the new government?
Now, when they ask, do you want to know, you see the groups that emerged after the declaration of Namibia as a country. 4 group comes out. Today, only after our declaration, you have those who call themselves Fallback Bridge. Do you know where the thing is very appalling? Because imagine that all these groups waited though, minus 1960, no, plus check from 1960 declaration to 1977, they start forming their group. After the declaration in 1960, they all are working together to push for the recognition. All of a sudden, in 1977, the group now decided to walk away. They start forming their groups, one after the other. So when you see all the things that Oge and Keredem are doing today, you ask yourself questions. If South Africa can sponsor 4 groups, How many do you think that Nigeria is sponsoring today? The sole woman who call herself Neka, who is sponsoring her? The same thing is happening here today. The same thing is happening. So when you look at Namibia, you see our own case. If you look at Algeria, you see our own case. If you look at Eritrea, that got their independence from Ethiopia in Africa, you see, if you go into all these histories of their, you see what we're passing through today. So Nigerian government has where they are learning all they are doing to us. And our people accepted it. Our people is the one who accepted all that we are passing through today. Because if our people did not accept it, it cannot be possible. It can never work if our people did not accept it. So look at Namibia today. But the question you ask yourself, did all these things, did all this group, did all this organization, these 4 organizations, stop Namibia being a country? And what do UN call them? UN call them internal matter. The internal matter does not stop the SWAPO that makes the declaration of Namibia as a country having recognition in the hands of the UN. So check, if this group that the UN called them internal, that is why somebody from America's convention said that our problem is that we focus more on our internal problem. That instead of us to leave internal problem to face external, to presenting the world what to do and where we are, that we focus on our attack on ourselves, that the world will see that we are not ready. Because the man who said on the comment section, the people of Biafra is not yet ready to have their country. I begin to ask him question. Asking this man from Washington, D.C. direct this question after he explained to me where he's from. He said that your people on the internal matter is too much. And that internal matter could not see recognition. But people are using it to delay yourself. And after listening to that advice, where I said, I am not here to treat internal matter. The only thing I do is to bring the history of Namibia to give you, for you to know that this internal matter could not stop recognition of Biafra as a country. That none of them will stop us. That the strength, the time we give to them is the time we use to champion what the world wants to hear from us. So today, look at this program, then shake all our enemies out, what they are at. You can see that the history is repeating. You can see how the history is repeating in this 21st century. In the case of Biafrans, through example of Namibia enemies, the enemy never won the case. The enemy of Namibia never won the case. Never won the case at all. Who won the case? Is the people who stand on the mandate of the declaration. See, until we understand what we have. When I said I don't talk about the Orama them, I don't talk about Ogenkre them, I have my, because I find out that talking about them is giving them more time and making them to become popular. If all of us desist to play their video, they will disappear in social media. Go and check their followers. How many follows them? When I look at myself, oh, that I have followers more than those who follow Ogenkere and Sonia Parawa. Why I must continue? Go and check their platforms. So we are helping them to keep them moving by playing their videos, showing their pictures to the world. And the world will say, look at them. People are not serious. Honestly. And when you are fighting something good, it can never come easy. There must be challenges. The challenges of Namibia does not stop them being a country. They do not focus on that matter challenges they are having. They champion. They argue in UN. Their radio broadcasters, their independent media, they channel on the history. When Namibia was fighting for their country, they use the example of a country. They use example of Finland. You see? Namibia used the example of Finland to argue in the UN. How Soviet Union helped the white people that make declaration of Finland as a country. That is the argument of Namibia. The same way today, that, do you know that USB, oh God, I don't want to leak this because that's how the secret document. There is argument in the UN right now from the USB. The same argument is what triggers the map of United States of Biafra in the world map this time around. USB is using 3 arguments of 3 countries and in the UN right now. So that is why I want you to know you have nothing to lose. What happening is to propagate the movement of the international community that those we got recognition, instead of putting our more time to things that are not going to give us Biafra's recognition. These are the areas I want to hit out. So I want you to know that USB is way forward, nothing else. I ask you, go to the map right now, ask on the Google, where can I find the map of the United States of Biafra? Just type it and they'll give it to you. Only that alone has shown that DPM, Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, United States of Biafra, Deputy Prime Minister, has won the case. The same way Namibia won their case. When the world wanted to recognize, they did not recognize all this group. Here you see, they conducted the election. When DTA, the internal political structure of South Africa, was shouting and ranting, hey, we are the one, we are first here, we are also here, why can't you recognize us? UN said, okay, come close. UN conduct election for them. The SWAPO won with 57 votes. The DTA, the one being sponsored by South Africa, get 29. The other one, the United Democratic Front, UDF, won with 10 votes. Then the Action Christian National won with only what? Only 5 votes. Their mouth closed. The UN ordered them to go back and join the government. When they come, there was sanctions and punishment for them. Because that is why today you can see the names of the organization that betrayed Namibia movement. The same way we are writing history of all these groups that today are betraying USD declaration. Can you see that? Now, a history of Namibia and all their betrayed 4 organizations that merge is what we are reading today. Don't you know that in the nearest future, there are people will read how USD was betrayed by their own people. Don't you know that? So if you are seeing flowing Ogenkere, flowing BGC, CRC, they are no longer in existence. They are only in existence in your mind because you keep on reminding, you keep on following them. They cannot stop us in recognition. If they try, what will happen is what UN did by bringing them together and said, okay, what we are going to do, let's conduct election. They conduct election. A group like IPOB, who is claiming what they are claiming today, got 29. Then why the group like the authentic SWAPO won with 57 votes? Check between the gap between 57 and 29. Then the one that made declaration, that made another declaration, I'm telling you that if Obato Obie comes out, that we are going to make another declaration. They call them what? The Action Christian National. Those ones, they go went and declare again. After that, in the vote of the UN, they only get only 5 votes. Only 5. Then the other one gets only 10. The other one gets only 2. And all their mouth was being closed. How do you know this? I'm telling you right now. Go to the channel sometimes. If you look at the channel of all these are making noise, what they are flowing them, 10 people, 6, 1, 3, 5. That is all. That is what they are ranting and shouting on social media. But what happened? You that are talking about them, you are giving them morale that they are doing something. Because when you're not talking about them, they feel like they are existing. That is why for me, I cannot play video of Ogenkere. I can't play that on my page. I can't play none of them. No, I won't give them that thing for them to on my page. No, now there are things to play here. Honestly, there are things to play. You can see how they organized the SWAPO. You can see. Listen to this as we are about to draw the curtain down. Small time. We can have more 20 minutes only for those who want to enter studio to lay their voice. Listen to this again.
The groups that did not believe in the Declaration of Independence by SWAPO, Southwest Africa People's Organization, were generally those who feared SWAPO's socialist leanings, its close ties to the Soviet Union, or its perceived dominance by the Ovambo ethnic group. While many of these groups wanted independence from South Africa, they did not believe SWAPO was the rightful or safe choice to lead the new nation.
Do you hear something? The group that never believed in the declaration by SWAPO, like the group that today did not believe in the bridge declaration by the Tongozi Arabese, the S bridge that's used to make the declaration. The same thing happened here. So listen.
1. The Democratic Turnhale Alliance, DTA. The DTA was the most powerful internal rival to SWAPO.
Okay.
They were a multi-ethnic coalition that believed SWAPO's approach was too radical. Why they didn't believe in SWAPO? They argued that SWAPO would create a one-party state and seize private property. Their alternative, they participated in internal elections organized by South Africa in 1978.
Are you hearing it?
SWAPO boycotted these elections, calling them a sham. The DTA tried to form an interim government to show they could lead without SWAPO, but this government was never recognized by the United Nations. 2. The Southwest African Territorial Force, SWATF. This was a local military force created by the South African administration. It was made up of Namibian citizens from various ethnic backgrounds, Herero, Kavango, Caprivian, and others. The conflict. These soldiers were effectively fighting a civil war against SWAPO's armed wing, PLAN. Their stance. Many in the SWATF viewed SWAPO as terrorists or foreign-backed insurgents rather than a legitimate government in waiting. Because they were armed and trained by South Africa, they were deeply mistrusted by SWAPO supporters. 3. The Rehoboth Basters, Liberated Democratic Party. The Baster community in the Rehoboth region had enjoyed a high degree of autonomy, self-rule, since the 1800s. Their stance. Under their leader, Hans Diergaard, they actually made their own declaration of independence for the Republic of Rehoboth in 1989, just before Namibia's national independence. Why they resisted? They did not believe a centralized SWAPO government would respect their traditional land rights or their unique cultural status. They even took the new Namibian government to court to try to keep their autonomy, though they eventually lost. 4. Action Christian National, ACN.
They took the Namibia court. They took the government of Namibia to court, like Ogenkere took in USV to court. Do they want the case? The answer is no. This is only why I can mention these people's name in my program. When they give an example of what one of them did in their movement, today you had it here, that this Rehoboth group took the government to the court. Do they want the case? Let's find out.
This was a party primarily representing the white conservative population. Their stance. They were the most vocal anti-declaration group in terms of resisting majority rule. They believed that a SWAPO victory would lead to the total collapse of the economy and the end of their way of life. They advocated for strict ethnic protections and were the last to accept the 1990 transition. How the conflict ended. Despite these deep divisions, several factors forced these groups to eventually accept the declaration. UN Resolution 435. This international legal framework forced all parties to participate in one single, supervised election in 1989. The Constitution.
What happened? Listen to this. They even took the new Namibia government to court to try to keep the autonomous by South Africa inspection. But throughout this case, they eventually lost. I have took them to court. I will deal with them. Does not understand. This Namibia group, these people from Namibia who never want Namibia as a country, that took the SWAPO, the declaration of Namibia as a country. What happened? They lost the case. They never win. And it's in the history. It's in the history. So let's continue.
Over the groups that didn't believe in them, SWAPO agreed to a multi-party democracy and a Bill of Rights that protected private property. This moved Namibia away from the socialist model many feared. Would you like to look at the specific legal arguments these groups used at the United Nations to challenge SWAPO's status?
Let me tell you one thing. After this, our declaration, once recognition comes, we have only two options. And there is what they call UN Resolution 435. They call it, this is an international law frame forced on people that are dragging recognition. That's what we're going to do. After they are on that constitution, on that frame law of the UN Resolution 435, it favors USB. Because that is the law that favors who? The SWAPO, that make the declaration of Republic of Namibia as a country. You don't know the meaning of first come, first serve. Once you first come out against all odds, make declaration, and they put a government, no, not just that make declaration, you must put a government structure. You must prove that you're not ethnic group agitator, ethnic group country. You must do that. It's all that surrenders having a nation is what you are representing. If it is not for that, if you are ethnic group country, nobody takes you. That is why you see the people that are championing Igbo nation. When Mazen Khan refuses 5 Igbo states, he knows with 5 Igbo states you cannot be a country. You must be under one Nigeria. That's what it simply means. So that's why Mazen Khan, knowing this part, refuses to accept Igbo nation. So for those who are championing Igbo nation, they are people that who want to delay the movement. The world are looking them. They said that those that they did not believe in the declaration of Namibia, that the UN sees them as puppets. That is how the world sees all of you who are making on social media today. The views are on the truth of what the world wants. So my people, that is what I have for you today. Until we continue again tomorrow, we must continue to bring all this for you to know. We will not achieve Biafra without history to repeat. We will not achieve Biafra without standing on the existing mandate, on the existing template of the world. We will not get Biafra without standing on the existing protocol, the framework, the legal work of the international global community. Before people has achieved no country before. We are not going to be the first, neither are we going to be the last. That's my message to you. I think I see my brother, my senior man, my Mazi Greg, still here. That is what I have to do today. Nobody coming to the studio except him. If he's available, he can submit his final submission. Or based on what we just play right now, then I can end the program. Mazi Greg, are you still here? Or are you busy?
Okay. Well, thank you so much for the job you are doing. And I thank Biafrans for listening. So we always come to learn from you and to add the ones we know already. So, because why you are very important is for those who are still doubting or who are wallowing out of darkness or all those doubting Thomas. But people like us, without this your teaching, we know the right place we're supposed to be, and we trust our government. So nobody is perfect in life. The most important thing is I watch my leader. He respects he or herself. He's honest, and he is focused. There is no government in the world that doesn't have people who criticize them, even when they do the right thing. But the point there is, let that your criticism never remove you from what we are doing, or you go extra mile to destroy what we are doing. And don't think that everything must work according to how you want it. Because if you are a leader, the things you see, other people don't see it. So you might take some decision, a leader might take some decision that you yourself on the side don't understand why he took that decision. And you must not know everything. That is the problem human beings is having, especially the Biafrans. They want to know everything. They want to know everything before that thing can be done. It is not possible. Nobody, there's no country in the world that their government will tell you everything to their citizens before they will act. It's not possible. Even this Trump fighting against Iran, it's not every of his cabinet know what is going on, but he made his own decision already. What did they do? They support him. It's not even Americans will know what they are doing before they support. And that doesn't mean that we know ones that will criticize. But what makes you a nation is, even when That decision is in, but you see the situation where your government is. What do? You support them to come out of that situation first. It's not trying to make everything scatter. Then you cannot tell me you are among us. I don't believe it. So any person who is still doubting whom those people are, for me, I don't know for another person, for me in particular, there is nothing somebody can convince me that these people are not bought over. But all the whole judgment left for God. So I only just encourage the Biafrans to say, please continue, and you, the media, continue and don't look back. Be humble in whatever you are doing. That is the only way we can achieve our goal. Because when you start gaining masses, when you start making ahead, don't pop yourself out. That is what kill you go 247. That's what kill all these two. What do you call them? Because people are calling them a media, they think they have become somebody. They think they are even they are more than CNN. They bring themselves too much high, and now they are nowhere. So let my encouragement to our people and any person, when you are serving, there is one program, this my brother Kenena met today. He was showing where the Holland Prime Minister was coming to hand over his government with a bicycle. That's humility. That doesn't mean the man cannot afford car. That's humility. Humility first. You lead by example, and people will have your trust. So thank you, my people, and God bless you, my brother.
Thank you so much, Mazi Greg. I always love to have you on the comment section on my program. Always, honestly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you and all your contribution, and I appreciate you for supporting this page to be on this level, because when they said founding father of this page, you are among one of them. Thank you for your support, and we allow Chukwu Caribbean to use us to do the little thing we can do. Other one is how to Chukwu Caribbean. We only ask him to grant us the recognition the way Namibia people got their own, despite all their problems. That is only where we are heading right now. Let us give our brother Ike Jesus the mic to speak to Biafrans. Ike Jesus, unmute yourself, then take the mic while I unmute myself. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, my brother. Hello, can you hear me?
Hear you. I want to mute my mic to avoid echoing. So take the mic, go on after you, then I will speak when I open my mic.
All right. Thank you. Today I am one of the happiest person. At least finally, what we are looking for, we have finally achieved it. Araya wasn't there, no gawa. I really appreciate you for all you are doing. Truth will swallow lies every corner of the day. I could remember Ogenkere, Imam Madabo, and the media warrior. Ogahajru na social media. Biafra Unite. Remedios. Sona Parawa. Adade Oranjo. Eggman, Vam, Okute TV. That one we know they see him again. 55 Vision. What is the name again? There are many. They will stay in social media morning to night to make sure they bury truth. But today, all of them are drowned. Where is Okute TV? Where is Remedios? Where is the Biafra Unite? Where is the 5-5 vision? And so on and so forth. Where is them? I am happy today because I am not disappointed by my choice. Those that follow Genkere and still follow Mama Dabo, all of them, they have disappointed. We still start Gidigbam to our beloved nation, USB, United States of Biafra, led by Dr. Ngozi Adabeze. If you know like I'm go and hug transformer. I want to appreciate Chukwu Kabiama because Biafra we are looking for is not Biafra of, it's not Nnamdi Kanu. Biafra we are looking for is not Simon Ekpa. Biafra we are looking for is not Dr. Ngozi Adabeze. We are looking for a nation that our unborn children will have freedom. We are looking a nation that justice will prevail. We are looking a nation that where big man, we will not have the station of big man and have the station, the law of poor man or the law of big man. That is the nation we are looking for. And we already got that nation. Many people have disappointed those that followed Ogenkere. Today, Ogenkere is the Prime Minister of Fallback Republic. All of you have fought a good fight by standing in the way of the truth. You, Chinonso, Ray TV, Kenenna, Kai Report, Adasa Monepa, Ezekoza, Ezedos, and so on and so forth. You people is few, but the truth has swallowed thousands of lies, thousands of social medias. Truth have swallowed all of them. All of you that have stand in the way of the truth. I have no gold, neither I have silver to offer to you guys. But the only thing I have to tell you people, Chukwu Kabiama, we bless you all. And those, sorry, I'm blessed. Jesus. Those that have stand in the way of this truth, Chukwu Kabiama, we bless you. Those in the comment section and those that is watching, be proud of yourself, because truth have prevailed. Those that are dragging in Nnamdi Kanu and those that are dragging Simon Ekpa, let them continue dragging them. We are dragging our nation to get our nation, because without our nation, without to declare of Biafra, these people can never be released. They don't understand. Without to redeclare of Biafra, Samonepa cannot be released. Without to redeclare of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu cannot be released. They will target.
Okay, just we can't hear, maybe network, your network, we can't hear you. Check your network, or is it from my own again? Okay, I think Ijele, why you can take the mic, because I think the network would not allow Ike to continue. Okay, I think he's back. Ike, please try and have one more. Yeah, go on, Ijele, why? Thank you so much. Yeah, Ijele, why? Good evening from here. You are welcome to platform. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, finally.
Yes, sir.
Great Biafrans, USB citizens, I salute all of you there. Echo, 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 echo.
It's from me. I will mute now. So take the.
All right, darling. So, my people, we must continue. Hey, I really thank God that ihe a wọrọ nwa nwe nna na ọzụgo n'afịa. I remember when some people, Aduchu to be precise, was like, she is the only person that has the platform to do this media thing. You know, sometimes it's good for things like this to happen so that you know who is with you and you know who is who. Oh God. Chino, sorry, I think I did greeted people, right? Yeah, I did. Chino, if they tell you today that you will come to this level, having your platform, your studio like this life, beware of people you meet while climbing that your ladder, because you might still need them when you are coming down. Let me just put it out. Let me not say when you have problem up there. You will need them when you are coming down. You see, so I really thank God the way things are moving. And having said that, I want to say great thank you to all the sabos. You can see from the program our brother Chino did today, you can see that you are even learning work from Sabo work. You are learning work from Namibia Sabos. Biafran Sabos, you guys are learning work. If Namibia today can be recognized upon all the Sabo groups they have around them, pulling them down. As they want to move up, they pull them down. If they move one step up, they move them 10 steps back. Today, with all those hiccups, they still become a nation. They were recognized today. So who said that Biafra will not get recognition? Who said that Biafra's USB governments are not getting it right? There might be division everywhere. Yes, they are bound to be there. That is the spices that will spice up this freedom. And that is the challenge, the kind of ginger we need for our governments to buckle up and do even more. So all the sabos, because I have started to salute them now, because without them, my dear, maybe the government might be sleeping. So
I'm sorry, even if not for them, I will be social media.
Yeah, yes, what are you talking about? Even my very self, I started coming up to programs like this because of one thing I do to one of the first person that Mazi Simon Ekpa called Sabo. I do. Because of what she said, she bragged. I will never forget that thing. I will never. Even when we go to Biafra land, finally, on that very day, we will be rejoicing and celebrating. If I see that lady, but anyway, God will not allow any of them to step into that Biafra land. Like they have said with their mouth that they don't have anybody there. She is the one I'm talking about. She said she don't have anybody there. That when she died, her children will bury her in the graveyard of France. You know. So and that will be her portion. And so be it. She said it, and so shall it be. It will come to pass, of course. So, my dear, because of that thing that lady said, that she was the one that brought Dr. Ngozi Orabezi to that position. And she will still fight it back. She will bring her down. Nah. Oh God. That statement is a motivator. She is a motivator to so many people. That statement is a motivation. It's a motivation to so many people. So many people started being in a program like this because of that time. What happened that time? So, my dear, I have started greeting them, saluting them, thanking them, because they really need to be there for us to achieve the heights we are aiming. So it is well. And today, if some of them have been watching you, they will realize that they are learning work from Namibia Sabos. So if they can do it, Biafra can double whatever thing Namibia have done. Biafrans, the good ones, the good Namibia agitators, what they have done, Biafrans will double it, even triple it, because we are blessed. We are blessed. The extraordinary. If you're Biafran people, the kind of wisdom God showered us with, or they have poor, honestly, that is very unique. So I really thank God that everything is moving the way it's supposed to be. I really thank God that our present leader now, Dr. Ngozi Orabezi, he is doing more of doings than talking. I really thank God that she understands the level, the stage we are now, and she is doing the needful. And I really thank God that Biafrans also are protecting their mandates. They are not leaving their mandate to one person or to the government. Biafrans collectively are protecting their mandate. Otherwise, Mazi Chino, you will not get to this level. It's because you want to protect your mandate. The votes the votes you voted on the time we were doing self-referendum. You want to protect it. And that is why if you're going to see this media, you are not the talking type, you are not the but look at you today. Some of us are not the talking type. Some of us, if you leave us, we can never ever come to a program like this to talk. But what motivated us were all this bragging from all these flavors. So sometimes we drop cursing them, then thank them, because the one day asị obodo na-enweghị ndị ara obodo ahụ ọ na-adị boring n'obodo ahụ
na them push me out to come out to me. Na them bring me out social media. If not for them, I won't be here. So that's
even na platform nọ ana m adị ekelezi ha na nkelechakwa great Biafrans genuine ones ekelekwa m ndị Sabo maka nke ha na-eme ede. Hey, so I'm so happy to be in your platform studio today, to be precise. Studio is now a studio. Who's in a phone call? Honestly, we are getting there. We're already there. We're already there, and I thank you. We must continue. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Kelena story ogiru. Onu aga hey we by next month to April. I got small changes. Yes. We are moving. Yes, we are moving. Let's give Madam Mommy Ojugo is in the midst of us.
When they thought they are the only media we have. Chineke save Libya. And they are better than them. Without them, today, spending how much every month when others are using their own money to buy burger, buying clothes. You know?
Honestly,
researching for us while we are sleeping. He is awake, researching, bringing out all of these things we can never ever find out on our own. You know. So please continue.
And let the Sabos go to Google and type where can I find United of Biafra map. Let them go and find a beg.
And it sweet my body, it sweet my soul whenever you are doing all of these things. And whenever they mention does it mean that I recognize?
See, look at the history of Namibia, how they have treated all the four Sabo organizations that they are prepared. So the world has not have time for them. Honestly.
You see.
This thing is echoing. It's echoing a lot.
Mommy, you will stop. It's because of me trying to talk. So if you are mute now, it will stop.
Hey, my dear brother, I'm driving anyway, so let me just leave the mic for my people to continue.
Thank you so much. Mommy Ojugo, you can have the mic, then I will mute myself.
Madam Ojugo, I salute you.
Can I do my sister?
Yeah, Mommy Ojugo, I will mute my mic for you to have the mic full without noise. Thank you so much. Go on.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. My sister, Dalosa, Ngungwa gwaro Kelena n'ọrụ adịgo consistent. Because this time Kelena pụtara, he always use that word, ọrụ adịgo consistent. So, my brother, Real TV, I really thank you for what you're doing. Like our sister just said, you know, sometimes the bias in that achụgide mmadụ achụnye ebe arụ dị ya mma. And that's what we're experiencing for those who have determined to choose a path that is not good. Because some unknowingly went to that direction, some purposely, pronounced with their mouth that they're going to be Sabo. And these are two different things. But I thank God that inspired you and continue to inspire you. You came out at the right time. At the time we needed to be educated, to understand what this freedom is all about, how hard it is for freedom to come. Because we are following, all this time, but we don't have that history. Sometimes we're like, why are Igbo people like this? Why are they not understanding? But now you made us to know that we should be expecting or expect things like this to happen. That is not unusual. Because that's what it threatens me a lot. Because sometimes I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just, this freedom thing, let me just have a break. Because but God brought you at the right time. Now we know that it's not just the Biafra people. No. It's history of different countries that have their freedom today, that pass through this. So I thank you so much for this education that you are giving us. That is a purpose. You don't look like a talking type, but here you are. Once you're possessed, it's like Moses that said, God, I don't even know what to say. I don't talk. I'm a stammerer. He said, go. I put that word in your mouth. Or I think that's what he said, or I will talk through you. Something like that. So that's where you found yourself. And if you deviate from that, trust me, you're not going to sleep. You will be troubled, like really troubled. So I thank God. That's the main thing that brought me in, to give God glory, to give thanks to God for the opportunity He gave to us through you. For those who chose to be saboteur. Richard, I don't know if you have answer to my question. My question is this. Those people, how do I put this question now? Is it mandatory, or is it a certain spirit that enters into people and turns them unknowingly to be a saboteur? Or what is the benefit of being a saboteur? Does saboteur have any benefit? It good? I know maybe if you can give us the good side of being a saboteur and the bad side of being a saboteur, I think I will appreciate it, because sometimes I try to wrap my head, why if somebody wants to be a saboteur? Is it that the person don't really know that that's what he or she is doing? So please, if you have the answer, I would like you to give me that answer. Thank you.
So thank you so much. Thank you for meeting the mic. So the thing is, where the question, why I find an answer is I ask myself, who was the first two brothers in this world? Cain and Abel. The first two ever brothers, Cain and Abel. And from Cain and Abel, what happened? We see a betrayal movement from these two. Cain becomes a bad person. So that is where I believe that God, who brought us to this world, knows. So God knows that enemies, the good and the bad, will be there. And there is no good side of being a betrayer. There is no good side of doing a bad thing. You always get bad, and it becomes your history lineage. Now, when you remove Cain and Abel, you check time of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu. What happened then? If you check what happened then you will see there is no bad side. In fact, there is no good side. It's always bad, but there's baddest. when you are a saboteur, when you are a bad person, when you are a betrayer of your people. The history of Cain in the Bible, is there any time it's a good history to talk about? So if only two people, one will be good, the other one will be bad, that is when you will know that it did not start today. That is why I believe that history can never see us and change. And we will not achieve Biafra without knowing all these things. Because today, when Namibia was argued for the recognition, they used Finland to argue. Okay, look at it today. Now we are talking about our own. The example the world are giving us on research is the example of Namibia and Algeria. Now that is example that is the history that is repeating. The history now is repeating, and today I want you to know that USB government under the UN right now uses Namibia and Algeria to argue. They don't even use Finland. They also use etc. in Ethiopia also to argue this time around. And that is why they said that the USB lobby and their lawyer are arguing on the right track. That is why also the map is on the map of the USB right now has showcased in the world, because they are using the exact argument and the right word to achieve Biafra as a country. So there is no there is no other good side of it. A bad remains a bad. Now that we are reading the history of Namibia, Namibia have 8 groups, but I bring the most prominent 4 out for us to see. Namibia have 8 groups that fought against the declaration of Namibia in 1960. This is effective 4 that has power more than other people is the one I brought out. Those that went to UN, those that take the government, the cabinet member that declares Namibia as a country, those that take them to the UN, to different courts in the world, is the 4 I bring out. The other 4 was they are lying low because of they don't have power to argue like that. Like when you see today, you hear that they said there is a rising sun, there is this and that. That is it. So all these things is giving us the morale for us to do more, and for us to know that nothing good comes easy. You must work hard and to getting tired before you can achieve something good. That is where we are. That is the little answer I want to give you, Mommy.
Thank you so much. Thank you for answering my question. Now I have that closure there.
Can you hear me now? So you can have the mic, as I want to mute my own for you to have the mic without noise on background. So I will mute myself, have the mic until you are through. 3 minutes maximum if I'm about to prepare for work.
Okay, Maz, good afternoon from here. Good afternoon.
You are welcome.
Yes,
welcome.
Yes, okay. Ezinne Maramojo, good afternoon from here. I greet you. My fellow Biafrans, you know. Maz, I don't have much to say, man. No, he just joke and get in here. Can you read through this platform where our people? Can would matter that now? Like in the because a guy now who got many and I do got many question. Like on the our ID card. Now our ID card bo scam nke one. Many of them now for their own. Do not allow anybody to deceive them. Don't allow anybody to deceive you. Once you are in diaspora, go and apply for ID card. I guess we in your see. And I thank God how is we research all these things. Our people matter that what we are passing through today, the mega nations that are what I got through today, many nations passing through it before I have their country. So only thing if you want to the truth, you say it. You want the side of the truth, you join the side of the truth. Anyana gani. Only one man is you. So let somebody come on here and say they get confused. No confusion anywhere. Only confused. Only everyone knows. Yes. only government nwere USB. Funding us na why our DPM abịa na UK for protest. On aga protest, protest. National aga protest. National aga protest no. National enweghị time ịga protest. No diplomatic. Yes. Ma akwụkwọ edere ede sef akwụkwọ edere ede sef or go to the office ebe a chọrọ. So our DPM she's bigger than that. See, many ha ji eme. So ndị gbago onwe ha POB na deceive themselves azụ ebe a. See, mana only say mana ya nwere bụ one government USB, that's what we have onye nation. So onye chọkwa anya bịa join aka anya bịa join ha ndụ ka anyị nweta freedom, anyị nweta recognition na just bụ azụ mana at the end I want that recognition through USD now. All of them must bow. So I drop it here for Namaz.
Mazi Emmanuel, thank you so much for your contribution. The issue of ID card, like I said, if you are doubting it, Namibia got 15,000 votes. It's also what helped them for the recognition, 15,000 votes. The mandatory or prominent number from the UN is 10,000. So if they are calling it a scam, whatever you call, you are not UN. That is why I told you. What they say that what people think about you does not matter. That what matters is how you are representing yourself in the front of the international community. That people are likely to call you bad names, try to destroy you. This Namibia, those who fought for their independence, they was being called terror. They called them. There is no kind of name that they did not call them, but they remain resolute. They continue pushing on the good side. That is why they have their country today. The USB ID card is only option for you who live in UK. Even though that the UK government refused to accept it. I have under research, I find that you see, what makes UK, what makes United Kingdom never want Biafra as a country is the same thing they are doing our ID, because our people in UK, you are in danger. You are in danger. If you have failed asylum, if UK does not give you asylum. UK recognizing Biafran ID card is that the United Nations have accepted Biafra as a country. So I have a research I have here, which we might be doing tomorrow. The intention of UK for us, why UK never want us as a country. That is the same reason why they never allow in fact, their new law remove themselves from recognizing USB ID card. Our people in UK, honestly, and you are there, you are fighting against USB. But the best thing for you is to go and have this ID card. Because it's better you don't have it. Have it give you second option, but you don't have it, you are sorry. And those who are fighting against this ID card, all of them already have it in their hands. So for you, you call it a scam. Scam is on your level. Scam is you and your level. On the level of international community, the ID card is not scam. They call it a document, digital document. It's what they need as an evidence of over 50 million self-referendum. Can they also call the 50 million self-referendum a scam? That is it. So, Mommy Ojigo, I will give you the last minute because I want to shut down in the next 3 minutes for me to prepare for my work. I have night duty today. It's already my time to leave for work. So please take your time to summarize, then let's end the program. Thank you so much for being with me.
Okay, my dear. I don't think I have much to say now. We've heard everything that you told us, and we believe in our government, and that's all we know at this point. If Namibia, that were following their steps and other ones that already gotten theirs, pass through those thorns, we're gonna pass through it. Mazen Nandakala said, the climbing of the mountain, that is not something easy. It's gonna be difficult. And he says it's gonna be the last miracle on earth. He knows why he said that. So the journey is not easy, but are we getting there? Yes, we are on the right track. Dear friends, if they require 10,000 ID, I don't know what we're waiting for to grab it. This is an opportunity, and we should take advantage of it. Thank you so much, my brother.
So much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you for helping me to end the program in a peaceful way, and I am the most happiest person to host Biafra on our studio because all of us contributed for this studio to be here today, for us to use it and preach the truth, not propaganda. Whatever we're going to do will be evidence, like the way you are seeing what I'm doing today on the program, on the stream. So in due time, you will be also reading from read it by yourself so you can understand the word, to know that the truth, once the truth prevails, Hadaino follows. But I am here to stop you from having Hadaino. Come back to USB, we are declared. The Namibian people, UN asked all of them, go and support your government. We don't want to hear it again. If you hear, we will sanction all of you. All of them run in and support. UN have answered Namibia in Africa. They answered Eritrea in Africa. They must answer us. They must answer us. Also, remember that the Action Christians Nation that took the government of Namibia to court lose the case. Like when Ogenkere took USB to the court, God said that he withdraw that case because that is where the war could have grabbed him. So we are here to do this job, and that is why we are on social media. We are not here to make money to monetize page, but we will do everything possible to let the message sink. Mazan Khan has preached about us to know that we are Biafrans. Now, what we are doing is to preach for you to know the right and the things, the obstacles that we are going to climb for us to achieve Biafra. Mazan Khan said that to restore Biafra as a nation is one of the most hardest things in this world. That is where we are. Remember that no enemy, no the 8th group that came out after the declaration of Namibia did not stop the original government that made a declaration in 1960. They are the one that the UN handed over the recognition of Namibia as a country. Then finally down to 1990 that South Africa packed their load and exit Namibia. And Namibia conduct the election, become the president of their country. Till today, that is the process we must undergo. Biafra miracle is a hard one, but try and contribute to USB and also have your ID card for automatic recognition from the 5 council members of the UN, including China, America, US, United Nations, France, and Russia. These are the 5 world power, and they are the council member of the UN. If you present 10,000 ID card out of 50 million votes, automatically we are. Recognition is under our hand. So please, my people, we are going to draw the curtain here until we come back tomorrow again. Watch out. Turn your notification on. Like and share the program. When you like, you are making this to go viral. When you subscribe, the more thing is to turn the notification on so you will know when we are live, so you can be able to join us to educate our mind and know what is happening. Tomorrow is another day with another different program. So please join us and like and share. Subscribe. I thank you so much for being here. From me, from here, it is a wonderful day to every Biafran that has watched this program. Thank you so much.